seems serene.
She's a bit naughty.
She uses an ancient folk remedy to help calm her down.
Heidi is back.
Guys, we did it. We made it through another work week. Happy Friday, the last day of July. Heidi Glaus here with Josh Gilbert, Bob Ramsey, and we've got Charlie in studio working the board. We've got a big show. First up, I'm just going to warn you, this might scare you a little bit because I was looking into this and I was like, do I really want to know more? But I think, as Lauren Risley says, knowledge is power. We're going to be joined by award-winning journalist and author Annie Jacobsen. Her newest book, Biological War, A Scenario, it really talks about, the bacteria war, talking about germs and how they can, be what ends humanity. Mm-hmm. So she will join us and tell us what she's learned. She's done countless interviews with all kinds of medical professionals and people, in high places throughout government. So we'll find out, what is the government doing? Is this bigger than something like COVID? And that conversation is coming up before she actually comes to St. Louis and is at the Clark family branch on Monday. So that's our first interview.
Boy, pretty heavy.
It's very heavy.
Ooh, right
I warned you.
Biological war. She did a book called Nuclear War,
yes.
A Scenario. Do you remember interviewing her? Was it last summer, 2 years ago? Bob, I think you were here. It was scary,
mm-hmm.
but
we need to know it.
I actually ended up feeling better after the conversation.
Really?
With her. Yeah, because she was semi-confident that that's not how we were all going to
go.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll also hopefully bring some good news, or at least some ways that you can continue to save money. You probably have heard by now that the Trump administration is cutting some of Medicare subsidies. But what does that actually mean for you and your drug plan? We're going to be joined by the Medicare man to kind of sort through it all and see how this will affect seniors. Then in the 4 o'clock, we'll lighten things up as we usually do on Friday. It's the happy hour after all. And we'll talk to Mike Ward about some easy grab and go cocktails, really some of the best that I've tried. We're talking about On the Rocks. So that's coming up in the 4 o'clock. We'll also talk sports with host of The Fight on Matrix Midwest, Randy Carricker. The trade deadline is approaching. We talked about this in the office yesterday, but there was an article, a story on Fox 2 about the Portland Blazers and could they possibly ever pick up and move here to St. Louis. So we'll get Randy's opinion on that. And then the World Cup is in the rear view, but FIFA's president is now pitched this idea to let equity groups in on a little slice of this pie. And now the Prime Minister of UK is calling for his resignation. Other people are already up in arms and some people have resigned. So we'll find out, why this is such a big deal and what it looks like when you start to put money in some of these things.
I've got a question for Bob Ramsey, the sports guy in the room.
I have no idea.
With the Portland Trailblazers, Portland, the Sacramento Kings, it's 2026. Is it strange that these cities have professional sports teams?
How do you mean?
Why?
Sacramento, California.
They've been in the league a long, long time and done very well.
I know they have, but Seattle doesn't have a basketball team. St. Louis.
Seattle does have a basketball team, a WNBA team.
They lost their NBA
to Oklahoma
team
City.
To Oklahoma City. But St. Louis.
I think there's some commonality in why you have one, why you lose one, that sort of thing. And then sometimes it's unique to your market. Your owner needs to sell. You can't find another owner. I think in Seattle, they dragged their feet on redoing the arena, and it wasn't up to snuff. So there are a number of variables that go into it.
And a huge city like Atlanta cannot support an NHL team for some reason, and not for lack of trying multiple times.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was interesting. What's the weirdest city that has a big league sports team?
Green Bay.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
All right, but that's in lieu of Milwaukee. I mean, that's the whole state of Wisconsin's team.
Where's the stadium?
It's in Green Bay.
Right.
I'm just giving you an answer to your question.
You're right.
Yeah. That's
You're
a great
right.
point.
But it's a whole different ownership setup, as we talked about the other day.
Ago.
So they are unique in it's a tiny town or it's a tiny city, but they have a completely different structure from everybody else.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
it's interesting. I have an update. Rufus the kangaroo is back home, safe and sound. This kangaroo has been on the loose for like 5 days in southeast Missouri.
On the lamb, Heidi. He's been on the lamb.
But he is now home, safe with his family. And in a social media post, she thanked everyone for their concern. Huge shout out to every single person that has been patient, that has called to report him. It has continued to give us hope that we were going to fight him. So congratulations to Rufus
glad
returning
he's
home.
It wasn't, or maybe it was a leap of faith to get him. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's
According
terrible.
to a post, a
Yikes.
neighbor spotted Rufus, stayed with him until the owner could get there and take him home. They didn't try to do the capture like we talked about yesterday, where the owner had said the best way is to grab his tail and like under the belly, which I mean, he's 4 feet tall when he stands on his back legs. So,
but they were acting like you could pick this thing up. And I'm not. I don't think.
Well,
I'm
you're
gonna
not going to try it.
I'm not going to get close. I still want to know what's in the pouch.
If you did a movie about this incident or a TV show, somebody would have to have tried to get him, and he boxed his way out.
Oh yeah,
Have
absolutely.
you seen, I mean, they used to have kangaroo boxing, but have you seen where it goes awry? You know, there's a famous clip online of a local television station invited a kangaroo and the trainer into the studio, and it just started punching people. You know,
I'm telling you, when I saw that kangaroo in person at Grant's Farm, they are strong. Like when you see their chest muscles,
massive.
like it's a little unnerving.
Yes.
While we're talking about animals, the St. Louis Mounted Patrol, which you see the barn there on
in Forest
On
Park.
40, yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool mounted patrol unit. They just got a Clydesdale. The Clydesdale is named Captain and made his public debut over the weekend at Busch Stadium. It's a 5-year-old Clydesdale, and this edition brings the number of horses in the mounted patrol unit to 4. I love when I see them downtown.
Clydesdales are beautiful. Who's big enough to ride it?
They've got an officer that is. You know, the Mounted Patrol has been around since like 1867, and that's when the law was passed to allow the creation of the Mounted Patrol Unit within the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. The original unit consisted of 16 officers who patrolled throughout the city on horseback. Then it grew to 52 horses, and in 1893, the Mounted Police moved to Forest Park, where the planetarium is currently located. The early 1900s brought another change to the Mounted Patrol. As cars were developed, many people considered horses to be a thing of the past. And so in 1931, the department sold 20 of its 30 remaining horses, as officials said horses were too slow to combat modern crime. The remaining horses were moved to the stable then at 15th and Spruce. And then in 1948, the Mounted Patrol was officially abolished in favor of the modern day vehicle.
Oh.
So in 1970, more than 100 years after the Mounted Patrol Unit was originally established, Mayor Cervantes made a proposal to the police commissioners to reestablish the Mounted Patrol. A year later, then, a newly recognized Mounted Patrol Unit was established in the current location.
That's terrific.
Forest Park.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Don't accuse me of being some sort of naysayer, because that's just not me.
You don't say nay.
I've never have.
Mhm.
Never have, never will.
Huh.
But this goes out to the texters as well, 84126.
Everything we talk about goes out to the texters.
Have you ever seen a mounted police officer get into the mix?
Yes.
You have.
Mhm.
Like, I'm wondering, you have someone on mounted police walking around. It's good exposure. Well, there's a police officer there. Better move to the next block and commit our crimes. But have they ever gotten, like, do they get off the horse?
Yes.
Do they ride full speed
Yes.
towards something? You've seen this.
Mhm.
I would love to see this in action.
I was going to bring it up when we were moving quickly, but it's interesting they brought them back because around the country they frequently use mounted police for crowd control.
Yeah.
And things like
And
that.
that's
so I
where
presume
it was in Forest Park, maybe an Evolution Festival years ago where they were taking off. But they can get down different, even if in the city downtown, they can get into places that a car can't.
Okay. I would think with crowd control, crowds would spook the horse maybe.
but they're trained to.
Okay.
That's how they're trained.
Okay. I'd be interested to see if anyone's ever seen a mounted police officer catch somebody. Yeah, in action.
Be great if they had a lasso.
Well, I wasn't going to bring it up, Bob. I wasn't going to say
Pull 'em
anything.
Yeah.
Somebody from the 636 pointed out you can drive by 13th Street, which sits right behind the brewery in 55 almost any morning, and drive by and see those majestic horses right there. But it is
Gorgeous.
a beautiful thing to see.
Yep.
Somebody said, do you remember McLeod? He rode a horse.
Who's
Yeah.
McLeod?
Mm-hmm.
McLeod.
Was he a mounted police officer?
Well, no, he was a fish out of water detective TV show played by Dennis Weaver. Started out as a rotating series of shows, I believe.
Yeah.
Somebody can correct me on that. And then it kind of caught on with its own thing for a couple years. Dennis Weaver, who played
oh my gosh, here
Jim Arness's
he's on a horse.
deputy
Yeah.
in
Was this
Gunsmoke.
This New York City? This is New York City.
Yeah, he's like from Arizona or somewhere.
He's wearing one of these calfskin
Yeah,
coats with the fur.
fleece. Yeah.
What was this show?
Well, it was kind of taken from a Clint Eastwood movie that was pretty good called Coogan's Bluff, where he goes to New York. It's kind of an extradition situation. So McLeod, they kind of took that idea, fish out of water. He uses the good old West ways to capture the modern criminal.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Somebody said we have mounted police in St. Charles, mainly on Main Street.
On Main Street.
Somebody
yeah.
else said, I've seen a mounted officer dismount and apprehend a suspect.
Get off the horse.
Superfan Aaron says they use them in downtown New Orleans during the festivals.
Mhm.
And when 4 or 5 of them are trotting down the street, you bet everybody gets out of the
Yeah.
way.
That's true.
Somebody
Good
else said
advice.
they saw police horses in Philly. They the tailgating is top notch there. They were just walking around, no action, because they can kind of get through,
Mhm.
you know. Somebody said, Josh, haven't you seen Elf? Santa hates the mounted police.
2 people mentioned the movie Elf. And somebody said McLeod was a transplant from Taos, New Mexico.
Taos, yeah, very good. Well done.
Very interesting. Since we're kind of going back in time with that, you've only got a couple more nights to see Ain't Too Proud. It is at the Muni now, and we saw it Wednesday night. My mom, dad, myself, we absolutely loved it. Up next, clang, clang, clang goes the trolley. Meet Me in St. Louis. This is an all-time Muni favorite. It returns after 8 years as the Smith family prepares for the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. I mean, who doesn't want to see this at the Muni under the stars? A sudden cross-country move threatens to upend everything, including romance for the 2 eldest daughters, based on the heartwarming 1944 film, of course, starring Judy Garland. Meet Me in St. Louis is one of AFI's greatest movie musicals. You've got all kinds of beloved songs. Have Yourself a Merry Christmas, The Boy Next Door, the trolley song. Even if you don't know the whole thing, you know, clang, clang, clang. Whenever I'm with you, you do not want to miss this enchanting portrait of turn of the century America set right here in St. Louis. Play out under the stars in Forest Park. Meet Me in St. Louis opens August 6th. It runs through the 13th. You can get tickets at the Muni box office there in Forest Park or muni.org.
Are they ending with Meet Me in St. Louis?
Oh no.
Oh, there's another one after that.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely. You've got Something Rotten.
Oh, I do
that
want
wraps
to.
it. And
I do want to see that.
I've seen it, and it's fantastic.
I do wanna see
Very,
that.
very clever. Kind of a modern day take on Shakespeare. So you guys know what we have coming up. First, we're going to talk to award-winning author Annie Jacobsen about her new book, Biological War: A Scenario. Hopefully, you'll be able to have fun this weekend after we talk about what could be threatening us.
You know, that honeydew list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honeydew list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
One thing, I try to do is not think about all the money I have to spend. But sometimes it goes through your head and you think, I got to buy this, I got to spend money on that. But the money that you spent on your house is probably the biggest single purchase you've ever made. So it makes sense to protect it. And you know what? There might be things going on up top there on the roof that you can't see. Allen Roofing can. They don't even have to go up there. They could send some drones up to have a look, find out the problem, give a diagnosis, sit down with you and say, what shall we do from here to protect that asset of yours that you spent all that money on? It only makes sense, whether it's a roof, whether it's siding, tuck pointing, anything to do with the outside of your house. They will help you protect it. Find them online at aroofing.net.
My college roommate said to me recently, everyone needs a good electrician on speed dial. And you know what? He's right. Ever since Michael Baldy has started advertising on the show, you know what? He's been out to the house 4, 5, 6 different times to fix all sorts of things. Good thing I got Michael Baldy on speed dial, because those things are a hazard. And it's one thing, you know how much I like to pretend to think that I'm a home improvement guy. I'll mess with plumbing and I'll mess with woodworking, but there's something I won't mess with, and that's electricity. It's too dangerous. It's too confusing, quite frankly. I know how to plug in a light bulb, but after that, it's baldyelectric.com. So for all of your electrical needs, residential, commercial, indoor, outdoor, TVs, computers, technology, baldyelectric.com. It's the place to go. You need a good electrician on speed dial. That's Michael Baldy, or baldyelectric.com.
I'm Reed Millard, president of Lupton Millard Chapel of St. Louis. We've been faithfully serving St. Louis families for generations. At Lupton Millard Chapel, we understand it's the little things that make a big difference for the families we serve. A traditional church funeral or a unique celebration of life. Providing the finest in services and attention to detail has always been the hallmark of our family.
Lupton Millard Chapel, the leader in excellence since 1905. For more information, go to LuptonMillardChapel.com.
O'Reilly! Save money on your next oil change at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic or high mileage motor oil for just $35.95. Power your drive with Mobil 1. Buy 5 quarts, get $15 back, and score a fast and furious prize after rebate. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Wake up, it's a brand new day.
Getting your weekday started the St. Louis way. It's the McGraw Show.
Carl the Intern, and Monday on the McGraw Show. I hope you had a great and safe weekend as we kick off August. Monday with McGraw, 2 of the 3 St. Louis County executive candidates.
McGraw, Millhaven, Rose Dalton, and Carl the Intern. Weekday morning, 6 to 10.
Right here on your hometown station, the Big 550 KTRS. You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 3:30. Time to check in with Captain Paul, see how traffic's moving on this Friday afternoon.
Heidi, no accidents, but 64 West is running slow from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. There's a stalled vehicle on 64 West at the Boone Bridge, causing a backup to Chesterfield Airport Road. 170 South is jammed from Delmar to 64, and 64 East is heavy between Illinois 157 and 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Neighbors Credit Union. If you're ready to upsize, downsize, or first-time home buy, turn to the team at Neighbors Credit Union. At Neighbors Credit Union, you'll find great rates, expert advice, and personalized friendly service throughout the entire home loan process and beyond. That's just what you'd expect from a great neighbor. Apply online today at neighborscu.org. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Now it's time for the KTRS Book Club.
It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence.
Powered each week by the St. Louis County Library on the Big 550.
Well, you see, I spell them like they sound,
KTRS.
In an eye-opening new book, New York Times bestselling author Annie Jacobsen takes a look at weaponized germs. She'll be in St. Louis Monday to discuss biological war, a scenario. But first, she's joining us. Thanks for making time for us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So you have written a lot about war, weapons, and government secrecy. What originally led you down this path?
My first 6 books are written in the past tense. The most recent book before biological war was nuclear war, a scenario. And I began doing this, writing in the future tense, a hypothetical scenario based on Pentagon wargaming, because it seems as if the time we are in, weapons of mass destruction and catastrophic threats are right at the edge of the precipice. And I wanted to write these books as a cautionary tale.
So in your new book, Biological War, you imagine the fallout of a global infection that could end humanity. This is bigger than something like COVID.
By all means, because a pathogen is only as deadly as its case fatality rate, meaning that's a very specific number attached to how many people die that get the disease. So COVID was 1% case fatality rate or lower. There are pathogens in Mother Nature's arsenal that have 100% case fatality rate. And now with genetic modifying of pathogens, and of course we heard all about this week with the gain of function debate at the Senate, the ability to genetically modify pathogens makes it very easy for scientists to manipulate germs to be more virulent, easier to transmit. They can make them airborne, and most really terrifying, to defeat medical countermeasures that already exist. So you can make a pathogen defy immunity from an existing vaccine or antibiotics.
So your book has a lot in it, and the reviewer from the New York Times said they missed like 3 subway stops because they just couldn't put it down. So it reads pretty well, but tell me how the book is laid out. You interviewed a lot of people. I want to know who you talked to for this, but is this a mix of narrative and interviews? Is this a scenario that you have built based off of all the interviews that you did?
Well, for starters, I put my subject matter experts, a list of them right up front right after the author's note, same as I did in nuclear war, because I want people to realize I am talking to former secretaries of defense, presidential advisors, people who run the State Department, people who run HHS, CDC, FEMA. And the way that the scenario unfolds is a minute by minute or hour by hour ticking clock, because that is what is at stake. In nuclear war, I took readers from nuclear launch to nuclear winter over a period of 72 minutes, because that is what I learned from the STRATCOM commander, how quickly it would go. In biological war, I take readers from outbreak to anarchy in 6 days, because I learned from subject matter experts that's about how a pathogen that's genetically modified for an extraordinary fatality rate would unfold. And then, of course, I tell readers what happens at day 6. That's the spoiler alert of the third act. That is just really, not something that anyone would believe that the government actually plans for. It's a classified program that I learned quite a bit about.
Annie, I'm going to go back to the gain of function debate, as you called it. When you take a look at that, where do you stand? And is the problem you could be as a nation be against it, but you don't want to face an international gain of function gap?
Terrific question. First things first, keep in mind that biological weapons are illegal. Biological war is illegal. There is a treaty that all nations signed in 1972, but people have not adhered to it. And this was a very long time ago that treaty was put in effect, and there were no rules for keeping it in effect. And so what you see now is gain of function, and keep in mind that's just a term for genetic engineering. It can also be called recombinant DNA. And part of why this is such an important thing is that the science and technology behind bio is moving at lightning speed. So the good takeaway, I think, wherever you fall on the lines of the lab leak, either way, arm yourself with some scientific fact and have a look at the reality of where we are now as a society. And if a biological catastrophe happens, everybody loses.
Yeah. We're talking to New York Times bestselling author Annie Jacobsen, who has a new book, Biological War, A Scenario. So are there countries right now with biological weapons?
Yes, according to the State Department, and that's the current administration as well as the previous administration, released a report on WMD and their positions on our enemies and adversaries. And the State Department says in no uncertain terms that Russia and North Korea have active biological weapons programs in defiance of the treaty. They also say that China and Iran have programs of concern, which I believe is a euphemism for also have biological weapons.
Right. So, Annie, what is our government doing to prepare for this possibility?
Well, here's another spoiler alert. Absolutely nothing.
Are you kidding?
Here's a quote that I'm going to throw out there. It comes from Colonel Tom Earhart, retired. He ran catastrophic nuclear and biological war games at the Pentagon in the office of the Secretary of Defense. And he says to me, and this is in the author's note right up front, he says, there is nothing to do to prepare the homeland against a biological incident or attack that is catastrophic, only ways to mitigate extermination. Those are his words. And at the end of the book, I write in my acknowledgments, the point of this dystopian scenario is not as much panic as it is pressure. There must be pressure to get us into treaties, to get us away from dangerous research that is occurring in BSL-3 and BSL-4 labs around the country under the guise of this carve-out that says you can't do biological weapons engineering, but use some pathogen work as long as it's for medical countermeasures.
And Annie, we saw some of this play out with COVID. You kind of heard about it in January, and by March Madness, we had shut everything down. And that took 2.5 months. You're positing in your book that it would take 2.5 days.
Well, remember, COVID had a case fatality rate of 1%. I use mnemonic plague in the book because I like to tie all of the plot points in the scenario to either historical events that have actually happened, science facts, so we know we're dealing with something that is actual, and then I use the wargaming model, which is also called pandemic planning, on the civil side of it. That's what FEMA, DHS, HHS do. And the pathogen I choose is pneumonic plague because we all have heard of the bubonic plague. Pneumonic plague is kind of the really nefarious uncle of bubonic plague. Bubonic is in the lymph system. You get it from being bitten by a flea that carries that bacteria, which is called Yersinia pestis. Pneumonic is when it's in the lungs, pneumonia. And pneumonic plague is airborne. And airborne diseases are what cause pandemics. But pneumonic plague, unlike COVID, has a case fatality rate of 100%.
Whoa.
100%. If you don't get antibiotics into your system within 24 hours, you will die.
So, Annie, this is all heavy and somewhat scary. You're a mom. What do you say to your kids to kind of calm the fears that the world could come to an end at any second?
Well, I'm an eternal optimist, actually, because, I'm not reporting anything that's fantasy. I am reporting science fact, not science fiction. And, call me old school, but I really believe that knowledge is power, that information is king. And so when you are aware of what to be afraid of and what not, like, for example, an airborne pathogen is really serious. People, we have an Ebola epidemic going on right now in West Africa. And as horrific as it is for the people involved, Ebola is not airborne. And so the chances of that coming to the United States are very low. If they come to the United States, as it happened in 2014, the people who are going to be impacted and probably die or could die are the caregivers, the first responders, because Ebola is transmitted by fluid contact. I pepper the book with all these, details, and I aim to do it in a really dramatic way so that you can take this information in and at the same time, get to the end of the book and realize, okay, I need some information and it's only going to help me and my family.
You just mentioned that you're an optimist. I reminded Heidi that after we talked to you about the nuclear Holocaust book, I actually felt a little better, reading this and seeing what your scenario is. But when you talk about nuclear war, like you did with the last book, you're talking about biological war in this book. I'm wondering what the war scenarios are because they're very much poisoning the well. If a country like North Korea or Russia wanted to unleash this, do they have an inoculation in their back pocket for their own people? I don't know how you could use this in war when you're killing yourself at the same time.
Well, you've hit upon a really important point. In the Cold War, that was kind of biowarfare 101. The idea was create a vaccine for your own people and then kill the other guys. That's actually what Russia was working on when they had an illegal biological weapons program in the 70s and 80s that we didn't learn about until a group of defector scientists came here. I interview their CIA handlers in the book. But the idea that was Russia was they used plague, actually. They were building a super plague weapon, which I modeled the super plague weapon in the book after. And they were also working on a vaccine for plague. So Russia has a vaccine for plague. We don't know how effective it is, but America does not have a vaccine for plague. But that was the idea. And think about the Cold War. I mean, Russia was a fortress. It literally was surrounded by a wall in many places. And so that is no longer reality. You can get across the world in half a day.
Wow. Well, you can hear more from Annie Monday night at 7 at the Clark Family Branch of the St. Louis County Library. There will be copies of Biological War available for purchase and signing. Of course, you can purchase the book wherever books are sold. Thank you so much for joining us today and making sure that we're in the know.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's the GOAT, the greatest of all trade-in events at HW Kia. Bring your trade now and get up to $5,000 over book value for it. If your trade is old, tired, stinky, or being held together by duct tape and a prayer, HW Kia wants it. Paid off or not, bring that old GOAT in to HW Kia. Then drive home a new HW Kia K4 for just $189 a month. Yes, only $189 a month on a 24-month lease. It's the HW Kia GOAT event. The greatest of all trade-in events. Get up to $5,000 over book value for your trade now. New K4, just $189 a month. HW Kia in the heart of West County on Manchester Road. And remember, Big D wants to see ya in an HW Kia. Start now at hwkia.com. With approved credit to well-qualified buyers through Kia Finance. 2026 K4, $36.95 due at signing. Discount includes $850 in lease cash. 10,000 miles per year. No security deposit. Plus tax, title, license, and admin. Fee expires 7/31/26.
What does the Science Center, Lambert Airport, the Magic House, McDonnell Douglas, and St. Louis firehouses all have in common? They all trusted their roof to Beatty Roofing. Beatty Roofing has been in business for 70 years. They're not storm chasers. They're based right here in St. Louis, and they've been doing it right for 70-plus years. And if you need a roofer, Beatty Roofing. In fact, first responders get an extra 10% off all roofs. 314-892-1331 or online, BeattyRoofing.com.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green online at jewelsonhampton.com.
I'm Reed Millard, president of Lupton Millard Chapel of St. Louis. We've been faithfully serving St. Louis families for generations. At Lupton Millard Chapel, we understand it's the little things that make a big difference for the families we serve. A traditional church funeral or a unique celebration of life. Providing the finest in services and attention to detail has always been the hallmark of our family.
Lupton Millard Chapel, the leader in excellence since 1905. For more information, go to LuptonMillardChapel.com.
Kick off the school year with Kohl's Friends and Family Sale. Because with 20% off styles kids love, they're not just going back, they're making an entrance. Save on jeans that turn hallways into runways. Tees that make them walk a little slower for effect. Sneakers that say, I'm so back. And more confidence-inspiring looks for every grade at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles, 20% off ends August 2nd. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Carney, fuck.
A week without Julie is like a week without Julie. We'll make do, though. Joining us on the program, in fact, David Bean Cooley pops in from Fresh Air in the New York Daily News. We'll talk TV each day with him. Bootsy Collins this week, Jimi Hendrix' old manager, and former Cardinal Scott Spezio. It is a cavalcade of stars, but sadly no Julie. Starts Monday at noon.
John Carney, Julie Buck, weekdays at noon on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
All right. There was a study done recently to find out the most common male and female names in song titles.
Mm-hmm.
And for females, it was Mary.
Mary, Monkeys. Proud Mary.
Mary Jane's Last Dance, which we just heard. Proud Mary, The Wind Cries Mary.
Merry Go Round by Casey Musgraves.
There you go.
Knocking them out.
And then for men, do you want to guess? I guess for men?
Let me think. It's
Heidi?
not Steve.
I'm going to say it's John.
David, James, and Peter were all runners-up to John. Johnny Be Good,
Yep.
Taylor Swift's Dear John, The Ballad of John and Yoko by the Beatles. John is the number one. John and Mary, number one names in songs.
What was the second for the women?
Maria.
Yeah.
Was
Okay.
the letter Maria.
And My Maria
Juliet.
by Brooks and Dunn.
Maria by Carlos Santana. I wonder if that counts twice. Maria, Juliet, Bella, and Linda were all runners up.
Linda. There's a country
What's
song.
I don't know any Linda songs.
I'm gonna find it for you. I have it on my.
Where's Elvira?
Oh,
Boom,
But
boom.
I heard somewhere, maybe I don't remember. Somebody said that 2 and 3 syllable female names that end in A.
Oh,
most of them
are easy. Yeah,
they fit.
They're easy to rhyme,
Yeah.
easy to squeeze in.
Yeah.
Well, Maria Bella, I guess. Linda.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, it's about 10 minutes before 4 o'clock. We need to check back in with Captain Paul, see how traffic's moving.
Heidi, the roads are pretty quiet right now. No accidents and just a little slow traffic. 64 West is crowded around Lake St. Louis Boulevard. 70 West is busy at 64. And 64 East is jammed between Illinois 157 and 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Dents Express. Drive time can be hectic with traffic, weather, and fender benders. Dents Express can help with hassle-free dent removal, minor collision repair, and hail damage repair. Free evaluations, and they take care of the insurance paperwork. They've got 2 locations on Manchester and Baldwin and in St. Charles. DentsExpressSTL.com. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Tall Paul, right? Any other Paul songs, Paul? Songs named after Paul?
I can't think of any.
Yeah. Are there any Bob songs? Are there any Heidi?
I mean, we've got the Heidi, Heidi Ho that we open the show with, but that's not really what they're saying.
Yeah.
I think it does.
Any Ryan songs out there? Ryan Raphael.
Ryan.
Any songs about Medicare?
There might be. The Trump administration is ending a Medicare drug subsidy program, and we wanted to know what that meant for people on Medicare. So we called Ryan Raphael, the Medicare man, to explain. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. So does this mean drug prices will go up?
It does, but I'm happy to tell everybody they can all kind of downshift and take a big, deep breath that, number one, the drug plans are not going away. I've been getting definitely calls all week about this. And number two, the federal officials estimate that the monthly premiums for drug plans will go up by less than $10.
Okay.
So it's not a big to-do. I mean, it sounds like it and very
does.
understandable concerns.
So what is changing and what do people need to know?
Well, I would say it like this, Heidi, that I don't feel like much is changing. And the reason I say that is each year, sometimes the premiums will go up a little bit. I think naturally people expect that, but there's actually going to be some plans, and this happens too, that their premiums may go lower. So I really don't feel like this is a real big deal that will affect a lot of people. I mean, anytime a premium goes up, yes, of course, that affects people, but the Medicare Advantage plans that have a drug plan built into them, there's no talk about those and those all of a sudden having a premium because of this.
Yeah. So basically, this is a headline that is a little scary, but nothing to seriously worry about.
I would have to say it's just that. And there's always just chatter about things changing, and that's what happens in my industry. But we will all know exactly what's going on and accurate information near the end of September. And Medicare officially releases this information on October 1st, but people will start getting their annual notice of changes and things.
Okay. In your opinion, since this is what you do, is there a reason for these cutbacks?
You know what? I don't think so. I mean, I of course, anytime, health insurers have opportunities to maybe save or the government doing subsidies like this. I mean, I think that's what's going on a little bit. But even though that this was out there and it was helping some of these companies with their premiums, they've all been kind of going up anyway. Some of them haven't really changed much, but I truly feel like it's not a huge ordeal, in my opinion.
And Ryan, refresh our memories. If we don't do anything, if we just keep our plan year after year, year in, year out, and don't make any adjustments, could we be paying more?
Yeah, no, not necessarily. And when you say we, Josh, you're not old enough to be on Medicare.
Well, I'm planning for the future, Ryan.
Okay. All right. But yeah, you know what? I would say it's just, year to year, things are going to change. I think we all expect that. Some things go up, some things go down. And that's exactly what the Medicare enrollment period is for those already on Medicare to review and just see if something is better or if they should just stay put. I mean, there's so many times that I tell somebody, I think you should just stay put. There's nothing else that's a money saver for you, but other people, absolutely so.
Yeah. So Ryan, my Medicare went up, not quite $20 a month, but I also have a supplement. And, I was told, I have an option if I didn't want to do that. I could actually lower my payment by a few dollars, but my copay stuff would go up some. And I just thought I'd just rather be in and out of the doctor's office, the pharmacy, whatever, clean. I'm in, I'm out, a few more bucks a month, and I'm just stayed put. And I felt like that was the easiest answer.
And you know what, Bob? It is a lot of times because you just kind of said it, that some people it's smooth sailing. Things have been going comfortable and no bumps in the road, not many hoops, let's call them that. And off you go. And yeah, some people, if they get a rate increase, maybe they so desire to take a look to see if something is a worthy savings, maybe not for, $5, $6, $7. I mean, some people can, that's sometimes a lot to a lot of people, but no, either way, if you're just comfortable and happy and off you go, and then that's great. And as long as you have peace of mind, that's what I'm big on. And if that's where you're at, then you're good.
That's good.
Well, I would say that, Ryan, you just gave a lot of people peace of mind with what you have told us today. And if you have a question about your plan, you can always visit MedicareManSTL.com. Thanks, Ryan. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too, everybody. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again.
Well, Heidi and Bob, back in the day on this date, July 31st. Can you believe August is tomorrow?
No, I cannot.
Can you believe it?
Your birthday's in August.
It is.
Yeah, just about 13 days away?
13 days away, August 12th.
What's your favorite birthday cake?
I'm a cookie cake guy.
Oh, no, we're not doing that.
What?
Never mind. Go on with the bit.
Now listen to
No,
this.
no, go on with the bit. You're not getting that. You're a grown man. I almost said something else in there.
Yeah.
You're a grown man. And first of all, it's not a cookie and it's not a cake.
No.
So for several reasons, the answer is no. When you come back with an adult birthday cake flavor, we'll consider it.
Okay. I have, fair enough. But I saw a picture of my first birthday, just in a diaper, no shirt, because obviously we're going to make a mess of the place.
And you didn't touch it.
It was a cookie cake.
No.
And I'm wondering if that's where it started.
I'm going to say it absolutely did.
I'm not a big fan of sheet cake,
Well, you don't have to have a sheet cake.
I think it tastes like sheet.
But you just set that up for yourself.
No, it's
That's
true.
exactly what he did.
It's true, though. I like cheesecake. And we made it for 4th of July, and Finn called it cheese pie, which I thought was...
I think is more accurate.
I do too.
Smart.
Yeah, I do too.
Cheese
The
pie.
density is more like a pie.
It's pie-esque, and it has the red stuff on top.
I was at Capitol Grill 2 nights ago and had cheesecake, and it was awesome.
What was the topper?
I don't know, some kind of little crusty kind of thing. I don't know. And then it had fruit on the side.
Oh, okay.
It was really nice.
I like a syrup. I like a liquid.
Yeah, like a cherry syrup. They
syrup
had that,
stuff.
and then had some blackberries and blueberries, raspberries.
Cheese pie. All right. 1928, on this date, July 31st, the day before August, the MGM Lion roared for the first time at the beginning of the studio's first talking movie. MGM's first talking movie was called White Shadows in the South Seas. There was only one word of dialogue in the film, talkie, but the word was hello.
Wow. And the lion roared, and it roared every time
And
after
you probably
that.
got to hear it. You know, oh, this is one of them talkies.
Sound.
Wow. Have you ever seen the behind the scenes photo of how that was made? They have like a hole, and then somebody was with a camera behind it, and you saw the lions.
Oh,
backside. It's
That's
just
funny.
That's a real lion, kids.
That's how you had to do things back then. We didn't have all this AI.
1984, on this date, the U.S. men's gymnastics team upset China to win the team gold medal at the L.A. Summer Olympics.
Yep.
Perfect 10 performances by Tim Daggett, Bart Connor, and Mitch Gaylord.
Connor.
Anyone remember those names?
Bart Connor, but that's really the only one in men's gymnastics that has stood out for. I mean, like, you remember Mary Lou Retton and Carrie Strug and Simone Biles. The men, it's a little harder.
Did you say Mitch Gaylord was one of
Mitch
them?
Gaylord,
I remember him.
Tim Daggett.
The one thing that the guys do that the women don't, that just
the rings
or the pommel horse,
the Iron Cross.
Oh yeah,
that's impossible.
It's crazy.
But the '84 Olympics, that was the one that we boycotted. Moscow.
So they
boycotted LA. 1995, Disney acquired ABC. I wish we had Alex Stone on to talk about it. He always talks about how the mouse signs his paycheck. And then in 2019, Woodstock 50 was canceled. Permits fell through. They had trouble finding a new venue, and the artists backed out. So the 50th anniversary of Woodstock was a no-go from the start.
Yeah. Well, coming up, Mike Ward joins us to talk about an easy kind of cocktail in a can or a bottle that you can whip up without needing every other bottle to do it. It's really a simple happy hour. We'll tell you all about it.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Sparking attention in politics across the ocean, a wave of 60,000 migrants who crossed the border entering a Spanish region from Morocco today. Though Spain's government and local officials say about 48,000 have gone back voluntarily, the initial numbers sparked debate and an accusation from the U.S. chief executive looking ahead to midterm election issues.
If we're not in office, our country will be invaded at levels that made Spain look small time.
On the ground, officials are describing it as absolute chaos, with the head of the local security force describing it as a border collapse. They've sent in 3 military platoons, a diving unit, a Navy vessel to help restore order. And we understand, too, that the Prime Minister is also scheduled to visit.
ABC's Britt Clennett. Italy says it's temporarily suspending its free movement border deal with Spain. President Trump says he's losing faith in the Iran negotiations after having described the talks for some time now optimistically. The president announcing a deal with Israel and Hamas.
Nobody thought that would be possible, to disarm Hamas. That shows you how much success we're having with Iran.
But Hamas says it will disarm only if a Palestinian state is created, something Israel adamantly rejects. President Trump's nominee for Attorney General being held up by 2 Republican senators who want written proof that a Trump plan to compensate January 6th rioters is dead. ABC's Jay O'Brien.
Being blocked by Tom Tillis and John Cornyn. Todd Blanche cannot get out of the committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, to a full vote on the Senate floor. They want to make sure that there's written proof that that fund is dead, and also an immunity agreement that Donald Trump reached after suing his own IRS. The fund comes from that, too, is narrowed in scope.
Wall Street major indexes closed higher. Amazon up about 15%, Apple down 9%. You're listening to ABC News.
It's 79 degrees at 4:02. I'm David Solomon, and here's what's happening. A former St. Louis mayor is back in the spotlight. KTRS's Jill Enders has the story.
Former St. Louis Mayor Vincent Shamel has been appointed to the Missouri State Board of Education. Governor Mike Kehoe formally appointed Shamel and Kansas City area teacher Michael McDonald to the state's 8-member board on Thursday. The board is responsible for setting statewide education policies and overseeing Missouri's public elementary and secondary education system. Shamel served as St. Louis's 42nd mayor, serving 3 terms from 1981 to 1993. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
A familiar name is joining the St. Louis Health Department. Dr. Faisal Khan has been hired as the city's new health director. Khan worked with the St. Louis County Department of Public Health from 2010 through 2018, and again from February of 2021 through September of 2022 when he was the county's acting director of public health. He stepped down amid intense criticism over mask mandates and COVID-19 related shutdowns and orders. He will begin his new position on Monday. United States Republican Senator Josh Hawley is introducing bipartisan legislation aimed at improving mail delivery. KTRS's Vicky Pimentel has details.
Senator Hawley and his Democratic Senate colleague Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut say there should be no bonuses or additional compensation for Postal Service leadership until mail is delivered on time. This bill comes on the heels of Senator Hawley launching an investigation into the Postal Service's failure to deliver Missourians' mail on time. Both senators are introducing the No Bonuses for Bad Service Act to ban bonus compensation for USPS leadership until every American can trust the Postal Service to deliver the mail in a timely manner. They say the bill prioritizes the American people and promotes accountability from the Postal Service. Over the past 10 years, Postmasters General have received more than $2 million in additional compensation, even as delivery service has declined. Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
The Metro East's most vulnerable residents now have new protections. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has signed a package of legislation expanding safeguards for older adults, people with disabilities, children who are deaf, and individuals with serious mental illness. Officials say the measures promote independence, safeguard against exploitation, improve access to critical services, strengthen oversight, and help ensure Illinois residents receive the support and protection they deserve at every stage of life. This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florists, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Ahead of the 2026 Missouri sales tax holiday, State Director Brad Jones is urging Missourians to take advantage of the tax savings and to shop small. Jones says, quote, "Small businesses are the foundation of our state's economy. They create good-paying jobs for our friends and families while supporting our schools and local charities," end quote. The sales tax holiday will be held from August 7th through the 9th. Now let's take a look at the markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow gained 276 points to close at 52,485. The NASDAQ up 251 points to 25,373. And S&P 500 was up 52 points to 7,489. KTRS News Time is coming up on 4:06. The Cardinals are not hot. City is hot. Paul Kopsky at the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk. What have you got?
David, on the heels of losing 3 of 4 to the Cubs, the Cardinals are north of the border tonight to open a 3-game series in Toronto. Kyle Leahy gets the start against the Blue Jays, who are 9 games under 500 and in last place in the AL East. And St. Louis City SC is back on the home pitch tomorrow night against Real Salt Lake. As of now, it doesn't appear as if new designated player Carlo Holso will be able to play as he deals with visa issues. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. The roads are pretty quiet right now. 64 West bogs down from Hampton to Clayton Skinker, and it's heavy and slow from Lake St. Louis Boulevard to I-70. 70 West is busy at 64, and 64 East is jammed between Illinois 157 and 159. This traffic report is brought to you by Fielder Electric. See what everyone is saying about the pros at Fielder Electric. Whether it's a new build or a 100-year-old home, Fielder Electric has you covered. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And in your KTRS First Alert forecast, a tornado watch is in effect until 11 tonight for the western portion of the KTRS listening area, including Franklin, Warren, and Lincoln counties in Missouri. For the rest of the day, you can expect partly sunny skies with highs peaking in the mid-80s. Tonight, evening showers and thunderstorms taper off overnight with a low around 69 and wind gusts up to 22 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we have the chance of a morning shower, then afternoon showers and thunderstorms move in with a high near 75 and wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Then tomorrow night, evening showers and thunderstorms give way to mostly cloudy skies and a low around 67. And Sunday, partly sunny with a high near 80 and wind gusts up to 23 miles per hour. It's cloudy and 79 degrees at the KTRS studios underneath the Gold Tower at Westport Plaza in Maryland Heights at 408. I'm David Solomon, KTRS News on the Talk of St. Louis.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
Our headlines for this Friday afternoon, July 31st. Veteran broadcaster Steve Savard named KSDK evening anchor as Mike Bush retires after 41 fabulous years. Steve will anchor the 5 p.m. newscast with Ann Allred and its 6 and 10 broadcast with the one and only Kelly Jackson. He will formally take over during the 10 p.m. newscast August 13th after Mike's final appearance at the anchor desk during the evening 6 p.m. broadcast. It's both an honor and a great responsibility to succeed Mike, Steve said in a statement. He has set a high bar for delivering news at KSDK and throughout St. Louis. Steve joined KSDK in February to host Spotlight on Service, a weekly segment recognizing military veterans. He previously worked as a news anchor and sports director at rival St. Louis station KMOV and spent 16 years as the radio play-by-play voice of the St. Louis Rams. Of course, he's filled in here a few times as well. His broadcasting career also has included positions in Springfield, Missouri, Hartford, Connecticut, Billings, Montana, and El Paso, Texas. Mike said that he and Savard competed for years in both sports and news before becoming colleagues at KSDK. And he says, I've seen firsthand that he is a true professional who genuinely cares about this community, and I'm happy to leave our viewers in such good hands. And I know personally that Mike was really concerned about that. I mean, he cares so much about delivering the news the right way and getting everything right. So I know he's happy to pass the torch to Steve.
So I heard Steve on with Frank and Jill earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, I had to come in and ask Frank, and you might be able to answer this too, Heidi, because it's a Channel 5 question.
Yeah.
In between Mike Bush, like when did Mike Bush start doing news?
When Karen Foss was still here.
So that was, I mean, a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
In between Dick Ford and Mike Bush, who was doing the news at Channel 5?
Well, Dick Ford wasn't at Channel 5.
Years ago, he
well,
was.
Yes, but you had Rick Edlin, you had Dan Gray.
And that's what Frank said. Rick Edlin, Dan Gray, they were the lead male anchors.
Right. And then you at certain parts when it was 5 and 6 and 10 always changed a little bit, or Kay Quinn.
And I wondered, I asked Frank this as well, is this a national trend, seeing sports guys go into news? We've got Mike, we've got Steve, we've got Maurice, Mo, Rennie.
I would say yes, just because a lot of, whether it's consultants or managers, kind of squelch that sports. It's the first thing that gets cut in any newscast. And so then you're trying to make the most of your people.
So the sports guys are like, well, if I really want some airtime, I got to do news.
Well, I think they just see a different side of things too. I mean, Mike truly cares about so much more than just sports. And I think after a certain amount of time, you've told all those stories, and he had just a immense talent for telling stories about so many different things.
How many spring training scores can you give?
Yeah.
And still keep it fresh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that is part of it. And he had climbed the top of that mountain.
Yeah.
And it was time to do something else. And he, I think, made the best transition.
I'm interested, 84126 on the text line. Who are your favorite St. Louis newscasters of all time?
Steve will be, well, he is great.
Yeah.
It's not a will be. He is great. He's a great guy. And he's got, 2 weeks to squeeze golf in?
Exactly.
Okay, got to get that golf in, Steve.
He has the morning, though. He won't roll in until 2:00.
There you go.
What's Mike going to do?
He's retiring. He's got grandkids. He's probably going to still tell some great stories. And he does the Stan Musial Awards every year, which is a great production. And he is
marvelous.
Spearheaded that for years. So
really good.
I'm sure he'll still be doing a lot of things and telling stories.
I always liked Dick Ford. I like Tom O'Neill from
good.
Channel 2.
All right, I'm going to go with Max Roby.
Max Roby. I'd have to look him up. What was his era?
I don't know. 60s, 70s.
60s and 70s?
Maybe not too far into the 70s.
Do you remember what channel he was on?
4, I believe.
4.
I think.
84126. Let's hear some of the names of yesteryear.
I mean, you can't get any better than Jennifer Blum and Karen Foss. And of course, Kelly Jackson is right up there. But those two are, I mean, legends.
I always liked Deanne Lane.
Yep.
She passed away recently.
Really
and I
nice
always liked Kay Quinn.
Kay's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to know Kay and the Quinns covering the Blues every day back in the 80s. That was so much fun in those days.
She's enjoying retirement too.
Yeah.
And Mandy
Murphy.
She's been around. She's so good, and she feels like she's been around forever.
But she's still only 27. So
I know, and she looks like she's 27.
Somebody said I loved Mike Bush and Bob Richards together. That was the golden age of TV.
I would agree.
That Olympics promo that they did, where Mike was doing the decathlon and Bob was channeling, the thunderstorms.
This is what's crazy about those. That's in the day of TV where they sent them out to LA to have a production company there create those promos. I mean, that's when, they spent all kinds of money.
Now you hire a high school kid who's got his own camera, No offense, Charlie, to come in and do it. It's just a different world.
It is a
isn't
different world.
Mr. Bush, can we try that again?
Can you give me more sympathy?
Yeah. Somebody said they loved Max Roby. Somebody else said when I was a kid, it was Chris Condon at
Chris
KSD.
Condon was classic. Absolutely classic. So I got a Max Roby vote too. Okay. I've got 3 here, and I can save them. Do you want hair containment? Do you want cooking show? Or do you want something gross that turns out good?
Okay, let's go gross.
Okay. Arizona parents won't face charges after their toddler was found alive in the hospital morgue.
Oh, boy.
No evidence of the parents showed any obvious impairment signs. They won't face charges. The kid was in the pool. They took the kid out of the pool. He got to the hospital, was declared dead, and sent to the morgue. And then woke up, and then 6 hours later, somebody's in the morgue and said,
"Oh my gosh,
this kid's alive."
That is creepy.
Creepy, crazy, and thank goodness that had a good ending.
Yes, indeed.
I got to do one more quickly.
Okay.
RFK Jr. launches his own celebrity cooking show.
I saw it.
Says specialty is steaks, meat, and fish. And what's really interesting, they've already been in production of the show. All around the studio, there's no more roadkill. So it's just
Yeah.
By the way, have you guys seen anything about that Anthony Bourdain movie?
Yes.
That's a narrative, right? They have actors playing him, right?
I don't know.
I think that's
not
correct.
It's not a documentary.
No, it's not. I believe it is theatrical.
All right. I have, in the vein of Bob Ramsey, I have 2 stories too, just really quickly.
Okay.
Kalshi is being sued by the New York Attorney General Letitia James for being a gambling site, which every time we've talked about Kalshi,
You've said it is a gambling site.
we have asked our guests, how is this not a gambling site? Well, the New York Attorney General is asking the same thing. She says, quintessentially, it's a gambling site that allows those under 21 to gamble and be prone to gambling addiction. So we'll see if more states pick up on that. Or if New York stands alone. And speaking of gambling, Powerball is a gamble, right? Kentucky lottery winner won the Powerball in April. $167 million. It's the largest jackpot in the state of Kentucky. He said at the time that he planned to split the prize money with his mother. He said it's going to be a wonderful Mother's Day this year.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Between April and now, he's been arrested 4 times.
Oh, man. For what?
He has a history of legal troubles, both in Florida and Kentucky.
So he's not quite as sweet as we thought he was.
No, he is not. 4 times following his win. Most of them have been domestic charges. So the lottery doesn't, they have those shows. A lottery ruined my life. Well, the lottery ruined my life. I'm going to go ahead and guess that your life probably wasn't that great before the $167 million. But I know it would fix mine. But I don't know if you saw me in the office, Heidi, ripping up my lottery ticket from Wednesday. I did not win.
I'm not saying it would fix my life, but whatever was going on could be just a little bit better.
It would make it better. And we've had those stories. Doesn't need $167 million, but they do say that about what was it like $140,000 makes people happier.
And
then anything above that is just extra.
Yeah, it's unfortunately something that we need, and not everybody can make the threshold that we wish we could. But I'll tell you, a great job, and people that I truly respect are the technicians over at Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. Talk about really working it as hard as they can, because they're checking those air conditioners and when it's hot and they have to go outside, and then they're also checking those heaters when there's snow on the ground. And that's why you need a dedicated team on your side, because you can't control what is going to happen with your HVAC system, but you can stay on top of things. And that is really, really important. And Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning, they know that. They've been around since 1979. And so these aren't just techs coming into your house. These are your neighbors. They they live in these conditions too. And so they know what your system needs. And right now, there's a couple of great promotions going on. If you've been putting it off for a couple years and just kind of adding the coolant and doing the little things to keep your air conditioner going, right now, Indoor Comfort Team is offering $2,000 off new Train systems with no interest financing if you qualify. So check out indoorcomfortteam.com or reach out to them, give them a call and say, hey, I just want you to come over and see what's going on with mine because I think it's time for a new system. 314-894-8200 is Indoor Comfort Team's number. 314-894-8200.
The Frank and Jill Show.
On the next Frank and Jill Show, Success St. Louis Style features Dick Zitzman, entrepreneur extraordinaire, plus Caroline Goldberg, a local athlete who is making all kinds of headway with her fight to try to make type 1 diabetes a thing that you can overcome. And we'll talk about at Our Lady of the Snows, a mental health conference coming up.
Frank Cusimano and Jill Farmer, weekdays 10 to noon, right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
Repairing chimneys, walkways, porches, foundations, entire homes, anything to do with brick or stone, you need a tuck pointer you can trust. And that, of course, is Morelli. Morelli is a family-run business started in 1991, and they're only as good as their last customer. That's why when you check out the reviews online at MorelliTuckPointing.com, you'll notice that they're actual customers who are singing the praises of Morelli. So if you need a tuck pointer, you need Morelli. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
This July, we celebrate our nation's 250 years of independence and the anniversary of the One Big Beautiful Bill. As a small business owner, you understand the freedom and independence that comes from owning your own business. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisor Group and the author of the 2 #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. We're celebrating 50 years helping small businesses maintain their independence by minimizing their financial risk to their business, reducing their tax liability, and growing their wealth with strategic tax planning. If you're relying on investment advice from someone who isn't familiar with strategic tax planning and you feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, give us a call. 636-394-5524. That's 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
It's our favorite day and one of our favorite segments. Mike Ward is back, and today he's going to share how to make the next happy hour really, really easy. How are you, Mike Ward?
Doing great.
Yeah?
Great. Yeah, great. I always like to talk about these handcrafted and special cocktails that we're going to talk about today.
We're talking about on the rocks cocktails. And what's really great about these, at least in my experience, because I've had several of them and they've got a lot of flavors that we'll get to, but these are bartender created cocktails and they use premium ingredients. They're not putting rail vodka in these.
Yeah, and you can see that on the label. That's the most important thing to me is, well, they're really easy to use. We'll get to that. But also you look on the label and you see brands that are from spirits, whether it's whiskey, vodka, tequila, that are also, you can buy the bottle.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to worry about where does the alcohol come from? In my
trusted source.
Yeah. Trusted source. In my industry, there's a lot of canned beverages.
I feel like it's taken over the industry, actually.
Pretty confusing.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah. If you just want to go in and you've got 5 minutes and you just want to grab a 4-pack.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you consider a seltzer a canned cocktail since it has vodka in it?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes, and they don't always have vodka in them, but sometimes. And so what I would encourage anyone listening, because everybody's buying these. I've been out all summer pouring some of these. And everybody that's coming into a independent retail store or a grocery store for going to the pool or float trip or whatever. You got a 4, 6, or 12 pack in your hand, and you can certainly get cans of On the Rocks. But what I would tell everybody is, first of all, look at the alcohol content, because some of them are up at 10%.
Yeah, that'll sneak up on you.
It really will. And I love the On the Rocks margarita. It's really, really, really good.
Made with Hornitos tequila.
It's spectacular.
Yeah.
And if you're grabbing cans and swilling it, you might have some problems later.
Yeah.
I'll get your opinion on this. I think sometimes people just treat it like a beer.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, it's
because
4.5.
it's in a can.
Yeah.
Right.
It's in a can, so it's only 4.5%.
Instead of like
alcohol.
you're going to a restaurant and you order espresso martini, that's what you're really getting here is a well-made cocktail. So I know they, as you just said, margarita, they've got a cosmopolitan, they've got old-fashioned espresso martini, strawberry daiquiri, jalapeno pineapple margarita. I know I'm missing some.
We're missing a few because they also bounce around. Some of them are seasonal, and sometimes they have featured cocktails. And you're not going to find every one of them in the store, and also they're different sizes. So remember that. Don't buy the 375 size. It's a half bottle, and then just fill a glass with ice and pour. Well, I mean, if you do that, maybe take it slow, because that's actually going to be 2 or 3 cocktails.
Something I should have been told earlier.
Failed to mention that part.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
All right.
do all of these, are they supposed to be poured over ice, or should you put them in a shaker, shake it up, and pour it into your martini glass?
Well, I think here's the best part about it. All those things are accurate. Yeah, you can chill them. So keep them in your refrigerator. I think that's the best thing to do.
Agreed.
And then put ice in the glass, and then you can just pour it in. But you should have a garnish. And
That's
really,
the only work you really have to do.
right. If you want to shake it, you can put it in a shaker. If you want to you don't have to mix it up a little bit. There's no need to. But what I would also guard against is adding anything else to it.
Yep.
So
you don't need to. It's so good.
They've done the work and they have this perfect recipe.
It is a balanced recipe. And if you get the Knob Creek Old Fashioned, which is 100 proof, and then you're going, well, that's not enough. I'm going to add a shot of.
That's going to hurt.
Well, it will, but it also won't taste right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's made to be the recipe that it is.
Here's how good On the Rocks are. There may be someone we know who will just go by the refrigerator and have a little nip occasionally, right out of the bottle. I'm not judging.
Ramsey.
I'm not judging.
No, do not judge.
But you're not adding anything to it, or that person is.
That
You're asking
person's
for a
not.
friend.
Are they meant to be consumed right out of the can? Are you supposed to pour them?
I mean, I'm not going to judge someone. I think pouring it over ice is probably
just makes it a little bit better.
But
Do
if
you
you're
need
on
to
the
shake
boat
them?
or
I
the-
don't know if I have ever, when I've grabbed them, I think I've just poured it, and maybe I should be shaking it to make sure everything's mixed up
You don't
right.
need to.
Okay.
It's mixed up okay, and it's stabilized. They wouldn't make it unless it was. So you really don't need to, but you can if you just want to go through the motion of doing it. But don't add anything to it. The garnish is not adding anything to it. That's bringing in some different or complementary or fresh flavors. And also remember, for the cans, and this goes for all of them, some of them are actual seltzers. But if you buy one that's not a seltzer, but it has a little fizz to it, that's just to keep the carbonation, to keep the freshness.
Okay. How long can you keep these maybe? And should they go in the refrigerator, or should they be in a pantry?
Refrigerator always, if you can.
Okay.
If you have the room for it, that's the preferred. But that doesn't mean that, if you buy some and you think, I'm going to take these on vacation, it's not for 2 months, you're okay. Now, some of these don't have dates on them, so you're going to keep them for a year. I think you're better off with fresher, if you're going to keep them for a long term, or if you don't know, but keep them in the refrigerator. And then also think, now, for the On the Rocks bottles, you can open those, have a cocktail, have one the next night. You're fine.
Put it back in the fridge.
It's got a nice cork top, and go right in.
The cans are not going to be fresh the next day. So, make sure you consume those.
Have friends over if you can't finish it
Have a
yourself.
plan.
have a plan.
Call me.
So, what is the history of On the Rocks? I feel like they've been around for a little while now, but was this a group of bartenders that got together and said, "Hey, we can do this"?
It is. It's two guys dating back, and I believe in Texas, but I could be wrong about that, who were kind of frustrated with the fact that there wasn't a lot of options, that you had to buy all these ingredients and go home. Well, then stuff isn't fresh. Or, sometimes if you're going somewhere to, you didn't have something to bring to a friend's house. So they were bartenders and had this history, and they crafted these, just a few cocktails. And when the Beam Suntory people found out how great they were, that's when they purchased the company. And the one thing about Beam Suntory and some of their innovative products, like they've got this can that we've talked about before called Negative 196, which is a seltzer.
Yeah.
And they apparently get fruit down to the Negative 196 until it basically explodes, and then they use that fruit as to add the flavor to a neutral to a vodka. But anyway, they've got these labs where they can stabilize and really make things so that they're fresh, and that's what I think the key is.
Yeah,
you don't want to get home and open something and think, oh, it's flat, or it doesn't taste right, or it's not mixed right, or or something's floating in it. That won't happen to you with these products.
Yeah, On the Rocks really has done a great job. The other thing that I think you've said before is you can try to make your espresso martini or your daiquiri or your old fashioned, but chances are you're going to start and you're not going to have that one ingredient, because so many of the ingredients that go in these don't keep like other things.
Yeah. Yes. And that's, therein lies one of the problems. And also, if you tried to buy a bottle each of all these premium spirits,
it's gonna be expensive.
If you have a bar at home, that's fine. But you're saving time, you're actually saving money and freshness, which I think is the most important thing.
Yeah, it is. And as we said, I mean, these really are premium, because when they make it, you said the margarita is made with what?
Hornitos.
Yeah, and the old fashioned is Knob Creek.
The old fashioned's Knob Creek, and the effin' vodka, which is which is good. It's good vodka, right? For which one is that's the espresso martini.
Very delicious. Well, I mean, this is one way to make that next happy hour super easy. And you can also make them and hide the bottles, and people can think that you've been back there creating Heidi. All night long, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I think it's a way to have 6 or 7 different cocktails,
easy,
and
right
6
there.
or 7 different bottles, because one of my favorite drinks is an aviation. It's 3 bottles to make one of those things.
Yeah.
And, even if you buy a half bottle of, the creme de violet, Mike, that's still going to run you a bunch of money. And how often are you going to be making aviations?
So true.
And then it's sitting there. Right.
And then the other part is all the cleanup. You don't have anything to clean up when you just open up the bottle or the can of On the Rocks
recycling bin and you're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you're having people over and you want to have cocktails as part of it, you maybe have wine and beer and you have some cocktails. Do you really want to buy, 7 or 8 different bottles? Well, now I got to buy rum and gin.
Oh, and tell us about the sweet vermouth. You buy one of these things. It's technically a wine.
Yeah.
So it'll go bad in 2 or 3 weeks.
It will. If you don't have a plan. And that's one of the biggest things that I talk about with Manhattans. Your whiskey, sure, you can buy that and use that but your vermouth is the one thing that's going to go south on you. It's not a wine like you got to drink it the next day, but within a couple of weeks, if it's sitting on a back bar or sitting out and it's in a warm environment, it's not going to be fresh anymore. It's going to be oxidized.
So many reasons to grab an On the Rocks cocktail. No mess, impressive, and they taste good. And they really save you money in the long run, because you're not going to buy all of the ingredients, just a few garnishes.
Make it easy.
Can you find On the Rocks
everywhere. Yeah.
See, we're
I read your
reading
mind,
each
yeah.
other's mind. And if somebody has a question or wants to know more about any of the products that we talked about, they can always email you at
Mike@wardonwine.com. And I am getting some good listener interaction, asking questions about things that we feature on the show, which is great. If you want to know more about it, get some more details, I'll send you more than you can handle. And if anything, like if you're out, because anywhere listening to us, you should be able to buy most of the products we talk about, and you're having issues finding it, I'll help you find it.
All right, Mike, it's always so much fun, and we always discover something new. Thank you. Cheers to you, my friend.
Cheers.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, it's about 4:35. We got to check back in with Captain Paul. Any issues?
No, Heidi, no accidents, just a little slow traffic. 64 West bogs down from Kings Highway to McCausland. It's crowded and slow at Lake St. Louis Boulevard, but thins out at Prospect. 70 West is busy around 64, and 64 East is jammed between. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
And now, KTRS weather.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We have a First Alert weather day for a threat of severe storms through this evening, through about 11 o'clock tonight. Let's be on guard for a tornado risk, severe winds, and a brief flood threat this evening. Now, the severe risk ends overnight, but we still have scattered showers in the forecast, morning to evening on Saturday, kind of on and off. Doesn't rain all day, but a 60% chance of some scattered showers Saturday with a low of 69 and a high of 75, about 15 degrees cooler than normal. Then Sunday, a high of 80, a spot shower, but lots of dry time. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
My college roommate said to me recently, everyone needs a good electrician on speed dial. And you know what? He's right. Ever since Michael Baldy has started advertising on the show, you know what? He's been out to the house 4, 5, 6 different times to fix all sorts of things. Good thing I got Michael Baldy on speed dial, because those things are a hazard. And it's one thing, you know how much I like to pretend to think that I'm a home improvement guy. I'll mess with plumbing and I'll mess with woodworking, but there's something I won't mess with, and that's electricity. It's too dangerous. It's too confusing, quite frankly. I know how to plug in a light bulb, but after that, it's baldyelectric.com. So for all of your electrical needs, residential, commercial, indoor, outdoor, TVs, computers, technology, baldyelectric.com. It's the place to go. You need a good electrician on speed dial. That's Michael Baldy, or baldyelectric.com.
I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties. I want to buy your home. Any property, any condition, and always as is. I will pay top dollar with no contingencies and no inspections. You walk away with cash. So don't waste time and money making repairs and paying real estate commissions. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's 314-283-0867. Or go to robankproperties.com. That's ROBANG properties.com.
The Big 550 KTRS is proud to be celebrating 30 years of being the talk of St. Louis and looking forward to another 30 years. But we want to hear from you and get your thoughts on what you like and don't like and what we can do better. Go to KTRS.com or to the KTRS app and take our 30th anniversary listener survey. We thank you in advance, and once you take the survey, you'll be registered for a chance to win one of 5 $200 Visa gift cards from the Big 550, the talk of St. Louis.
Got gold? Get green at Jewels on Hampton. Jewels on Hampton pays the most for your precious metals, jewelry, gems, currency, antiques, and collectibles. Jewels on Hampton buys precious and semi-precious gems and stones, scrap gold, and sterling silver. Jewels on Hampton buys and sells paper money, wristwatches, and pocket watches. They even take pianos and cars. To sum up, bring your gold chains, bracelets, rings, coins, dental gold, and more to Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton Avenue in St. Louis. And get green online at jewelsonhampton.com.
Well, we haven't really heard a lot about the Nancy Guthrie case lately. I know Savannah made a statement and pleading once again, but Chris Nanos, the sheriff in this case in Tucson, Arizona, just released the 2 supposed ransom notes that was initially shared in the notes purport to have been written by these kidnappers. We're close to 6 months of her being gone. And the first note was sent to a TV station back on February 2nd. Nancy was last seen alive on January 31st and addressed directly to Savannah. The first ransom note demands $4 to $6 million deposited in Bitcoin. And it said that Nancy is safe but scared. Now, it also said her life is in your hands. The second note reads in full, Guthrie family, we did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical condition. We never intended to hurt her. That was not our intention. She perished shortly after she was taken. We believe it was heart related. She is buried in nature now. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome. We want your family to know this and hope you can all find peace. We are truly sorry.
Are these real?
I mean, that's the question. They haven't really said these are just finally, they're releasing them probably in hopes that somebody will come forward and they will tell them where she's buried, if that is truly. Yes, this also kind of provides a little bit of insight into the person's mindset, motives, and the evolution of their tone over time. It continued to say, as with unidentified male depicted in the video, we believe these distinctive linguistic characteristics may be recognizable to someone. This is according to the sheriff's department. So that's why they're sharing it. Is it real? Who knows? But if it can lead to anything, that's what they're hoping.
And if they tell the family where the body is, there's probably clues on the body that could lead back to them. So they might be tight-lipped about that. I don't know. I mean, that sounds real. I
know. And they printed the entire thing. And in that first one, it basically said, she will be held for ransom. Once payment is received, she'll be released unharmed. We'll be holding her for a maximum of 7 days. I don't know. It still boggles your mind. And you do wish that they would just return the body or lead them to it so that everybody could have some sort of closure.
Well, and they've got to find the culprits, and they need to be eliminated.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's I thought you were going to talk about the airlines. I don't have a follow-up story for that.
I think it needs to be updated.
Yeah.
They do say she had a white smartwatch on the floor of the foot of her bed, and the white floodlight backyard was destroyed. So I don't know if any of that was out there. You could have seen the watch when she was on with Savannah probably, but to say exactly where it was is a little more detailing.
Okay, well, this was my follow-up when I thought you were talking about the airlines. Did you see this? Congress is trying to pass a bill that would ban all phone and video calls on the airplanes.
I think we mentioned this because it's like, why hasn't this already happened?
There is a law in 2018, but it never actually passed. It kind of passed through the House and maybe didn't clear the Senate, never went to the president or anything. But everybody's got Wi-Fi now, and most airlines are offering free Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
So with Wi-Fi comes calls.
But you would hope also some common sense.
I was on a bus, a Bolt bus. Do you remember the Bolt bus or the Mega bus?
Mm-hmm.
It was going from New York City to Boston to visit a friend. And the entire time, a girl 3 rows behind me was talking loudly on her phone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you ever consider sitting next to her and getting involved in the conversation? It'd been
no, because I'm totally passive aggressive.
Is that Jenny?
But I did.
Oh, Jenny, hi.
Since I am passive, I did do this. I kind of got up out of my seat and gave her the look.
Yeah.
But I apparently
didn't work, did it?
It didn't work.
Well, since you went with airlines, they just made a controversial change. American Airlines did to their refund policy. So here's what you need to know. American Airlines now requires tickets to be purchased at least 7 days before departure to qualify for a full refund if the booking is canceled within 24 hours of purchase. The company's previous policy offered the refund to customers who booked even within 2 days of departure. So this aligns with policies from JetBlue, Southwest, United, but is stricter than Delta's current policy. So if you are flying American, you purchase those tickets at least 7 days before. If there's any that you won't be going. You know how you can avoid all of this is just go through Altair Travel and Cruises, because they will handle everything for you. You want to go to the beach, Altair Travel will find you the perfect all-inclusive if that's what you're looking for. You want to go to Europe? There are so many different ways, and I highly recommend a river cruise because you can see so much. Wherever you want to go, maybe you just want to go on a 4-day golf trip. Altair Travel and Cruises can put it all together for you and even save you some money in the process, because they have friends in high places. They know when's the best time to go and when you should actually book those flights to save a little bit of money. They'll handle it all. You just make those memories. AltairTravel.com, or give them a call at 314-968-9600.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called WSWindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, "We hope to hear from you." And they have been successful. They beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. WSWindow.net. WSWindow.net.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
O'Reilly. Save money on your next oil change at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic or high mileage motor oil for just $35.95. Power your drive with Mobil 1. Buy 5 quarts, get $15 back, and score a fast and furious prize after rebate. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's hot out, but nothing can be hotter this summer than a Dogtown pizza. Hey, Josh here, and we're talking 425 degrees hot. 12 different varieties and a whole bunch of fresh toppings. Try the bacon, the 4-meat, or head to the garden for a veggie or tomato basil garlic. Oh, you want to get hot? Try the hot chicken pizza on for size. Sizzling. This summer's already hot, but make it even hotter with some Dogtown Pizza. Every local grocery store in town and at dogtownpizza.com.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with a mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
It is 12 minutes before 5 o'clock on a Friday. Lots of people clocking out, starting their weekend. That means usually more people on the roads. What are you seeing, Captain Paul?
Well, Heidi, we have a big problem in South County. 255 East is closed between the Jefferson Barracks Bridge and the Missouri-Illinois state line due to a police emergency, with traffic at a standstill back past Telegraph. Elsewhere, 64 West bogs down from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker. It's crowded and slow at Lake St. Louis Boulevard, but thins out at Prospect. 70 West is busy around 64, and 64 East is jammed between Illinois 157 and 159. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Is that him at a Cubs game where he switches the hats?
Yeah.
I mean, that is legendary, isn't it? The trade deadline is approaching. Randy Carricker, host of the Fight on Matrix Midwest and the Randy Carricker Show podcast, is here to talk sports. I read one article about Newt Barr wanting to stay here, but it's not really the player's choice anymore, is it?
Not for him. If you have 5 years with one team and 10 years in the majors or no trade clause, you can stay where you want. But he is a guy that other major league teams like. I think when you look at the box scores, you say, okay, why would somebody like him? But even now, if he had enough at bats to qualify, he'd be in the top 15 in hard hit percentage, all these the fancy numbers, as Doug Armstrong calls them. And teams still think that they can get something out of Lars Nootbaar. And if I'm the Cardinals and I think I can get something back for him, I would definitely have to look at that.
Well, if you think you're going to contend, or that you are a contender, and you're short an outfielder, doesn't mean he would go someplace and start, maybe platoon, be a fourth outfielder. He's got all the tools. He's just never really put them together. But you don't need a guy to be great for the next 10 years. You need him to be good for 3 months.
Right. And there are so many teams out there, guys, that just can't score right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees, right? If the Yankees don't get a right-handed hitter, they need a hitter. Same with Philadelphia. Philadelphia is loaded with left-handed hitters, but Kyle Schwarber's been out. He's been ill. Bryce Harper hasn't been what he's been in the past, and their outfield doesn't produce at all. So they need a hitter, not just, and they would prefer a right-handed guy, but I would think that there will be some value for a guy like Nootbaar here at the deadline.
So who else is on the chopping block here?
Well, Dustin May probably made his last start for the Cardinals. Now, it's going to be a buyer's market. They are going to get what we would hope they would get for Dustin May, because there's probably a dozen pitchers, starting pitchers, the teams would rather have than Dustin May. Even though J.J. Romero is on the IL with appendicitis, he had not allowed a run in July before he suffered that. So I think he's got a good chance to be gone. Nootbaar. And then the intriguing one is both the Red Sox and Yankees reportedly have interest in Ivan Herrera. I wouldn't move Ivan Herrera, but right-handed hitters are in such short supply, and he's a good right-handed hitter. If you could get a haul for him, I would listen. And I kind of think right now, people are thinking that the Cardinals are calling people and saying, hey, Ivan Herrera is available. It's not like that at all. Like last year at the hockey deadline, there was a rumor that Robert Thomas was out there. The Blues never called anybody and said Robert Thomas is available. People would call them, and the Blues would say, well, what would you give us for him? And they're waiting for that overwhelming offer. That's the way the Cardinals, I believe, would move Herrera. They really value him highly as a hitter, not necessarily as a catcher, but they haven't thought about putting him on the market.
So you were saying in the break, the Cardinals are going to Toronto. If a guy's going to get traded, why even bother with the customs going up north? But we're headed to New York Yankees. And if they want Ivan Herrera, could we have one of these stories where the guy is in the dugout for the first 3 innings and then he walks across the field and he's in the other dugout?
That
for
is
the
not
next
allowed,
6?
unfortunately.
It's not allowed?
No.
These crazy stories of a guy on one day, he's on one team, and the next day he's in the other dugout.
Or there have been trades, and I think it was the Cardinals and the Cubs in the 20s that actually pulled off a trade between games of a doubleheader.
Wow.
And so the guys just switched teams during the game.
I guess on Monday, if they take their stuff to Yankee Stadium and it happened in the afternoon, you can move it. Just, hey,
go to
go
the
down
other
the hall.
clubhouse. Yeah, it's easy. And one of the great deadline trades of all time was a guy named Joel Youngblood, who played with the Mets during the day at Wrigley Field. No, it was at Shea Stadium. Got traded, and he got traded to the Expos, flew to Montreal, and played for the Expos that night. Played 2 games in one day for 2 different teams.
And that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Since we're kind of looking back at some things, what was the best Cardinals trade in history? Who did we get that just blew everybody away?
Well, it was Lou Brock in 1964. And the deadline used to be on June 15th. And the Cardinals traded Ernie Broglio, who had won 21 games 2 years before, and then 18 the year before. But he was damaged goods. He was hurt when the Cardinals traded him to the Cubs and got Lou Brock back in return. And Brock leads the Cardinals to the World Series that year. And then he leads the Cardinals to the World Series in 67 and another one that they didn't win in 68. But in recent vintage, and there are so many, the Cardinals got Scott Rowland in 2002 at the deadline. They got Matt Holliday in 2009. But the trajectory of the franchise changed in 1997 at the deadline when they got Mark McGwire. They were drawing about $32,000 a game before he got here, $38,000 a game the next year, $39,000 a game the year after that, $40,000, all the stuff that was sold. And all the money that they made because of Mark McGwire allowed them to build the team that kind of set the stage for a mini dynasty between 2000 and 2022.
I was at one of the sports stations when that happened, and I thought it was a bad trade because I thought there was no chance the Cardinals could sign him.
I didn't either.
Zero chance.
Right.
And sure enough, Walt Jocketty knew what he was doing.
So a couple nights before the deadline, I was doing Cardinal post game, and Walt listened in his office to the show. And so I was downstairs at the ballpark. He's upstairs. And I said, he's going to the Angels. I said, the Cardinals aren't going to get Mark McGwire. I said, we should even stop dreaming about that. And moments later during the show, I see Walt Jocketty standing outside my studio, and I get to a break, and I said, hey, what's up? He said, I wouldn't be too quick to dismiss the McGwire thing.
Wow.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Do you think he did it just to spite you, Randy?
No, because then the next day he traded for the guy.
Yeah,
so Walt was awesome about that kind of stuff.
Who did we give up for McGwire, or did we?
We gave up T.J. Matthews, who still lives here in the area, a right-handed pitcher named Blake Stein, and then Ryan Ludwig's brother, Eric Ludwig. They gave up three pitchers who wound up, and I just did this math the other day, after they left St. Louis, they had a combined 5.48 earned run average for other teams.
Wow. While we're talking about former Cardinals, did you see that Harrison Bader is going to miss the rest of the season?
Yeah, and nothing ever goes well when you're drinking after midnight and get on a scooter and then run into the back of a fire truck and have the fire truck's tire run over your already injured foot.
Yeah.
And the Giants are making this very public because I'm convinced they want to void his contract. Because
I was wondering why this is making headlines everywhere.
And the Giants actually turned out one release 2 days ago and then another release today about the severity of the injury. And he wasn't that injured before. It was a foot injury, but he wasn't that injured before this. And he was only hitting 170 for them. So I'm guessing that the Giants are making this so public so that they can void the deal.
Yeah.
2-year contract.
While we're speaking of former Cardinals, McClellan, Adams, Rosenthal are all helping bring pro softball to St. Louis. They did it over the last 2 days. Do you have any idea how it went out at Carshield in O'Fallon?
I do not. I know they had great tryouts, and the voice of the only pro softball team we've ever had here in St. Louis is sitting right next to us. Yeah. But it's fun. And Rammer, you did the Hummers. And that was, and I went to one game.
Yeah.
I think I was in college. But
so I didn't sell enough tickets to really make it work. Okay. All right.
Well, while we're talking about pro teams, Fox 2 just had a story about the possibility of the Portland Trailblazers relocating. Is there any chance that would ever happen?
Okay. So a guy, the biggest booster of St. Louis U basketball, Richard Chaffetz, owns like 1.5% of the Blazers. I would say there's a 1.5% chance of them coming here.
Yeah.
But Tom Dundon, the new owner, he's got a really bad relationship already with Portland and with fans. He fired their longtime play-by-play guys last week, radio and TV. He's just a weird guy.
I was telling these guys, they call him the cheapest man in sports because during the playoffs, they always gave away T-shirts, and he nixed that.
Yeah, no T-shirts. Wouldn't take players that had two-way contracts on the road for playoff games. He made everybody check out, even the team masseuse who was going to provide massages for players before the game. He made everybody check out at 12:30 so that they didn't bleed into a second day. But he's the owner of the Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes. So
he's the guy that put his whole family on the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that says
Remember
everything.
that story?
Yeah.
I saw a friend of the show, friend of the town, Steve O'Loughlin,
Uh-huh.
when I went to get my coffee. And one of his people with him, they had a little meeting or something. He goes, "Hey, we getting an NBA team?" And I go, "Are you going to own it?" And he said, "Get out of here."
Yeah. Any chance if we get the Trailblazers, we can name them the Spirits?
No. I don't know who owns that name right now. I don't know if that stayed with the NBA or when Ozzy and Dan Silna, which is one of the all-time great stories, if when they left the ABA, if they kept that name. Somebody must own that name and
You would
logo
think
right
so.
now.
Yeah.
But that Spirits of St. Louis would be fun. When Mr. Laurie, Bill Laurie, had actually bought the Grizzlies in 2000 and was going to move the Vancouver Grizzlies to St. Louis, and the league kind of shut it down. But the blue salespeople were actually selling suites, and the name of the team was going to be the St. Louis Rhythm, so that they had the Rhythm and Blues.
Oh, wouldn't that have been so
Yeah.
cool? Well, you can hear Randy here on the Big 550 with McGraw every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning. You can watch him on The Fight at 10, weeknights on Matrix Midwest, and the Randy Carricker Show podcast on STL Sports Central. Thank you so much for coming in. It's always fun when you're here.
I love being here. Thanks for having me, guys, and have a great weekend.
You too. All right, lots of people signing out for the weekend. We've got more to get to, though. We're going to talk to Dr. Patrick Rishe, director of the sports business program at WashU. You've probably heard that FIFA wants to sell some of the stake. What does that look like? We'll get his opinion.
This has been the talk of St. Louis for 30 years, and we aren't stopping now. We are the Big 550, KTRS St. Louis. Depend on it. From the Del Mar Loop, Central West End, Soulard to Lafayette Square, and Cherokee Street and the Grove.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. 6 months after Nancy Guthrie's disappearance, the Sheriff's Department is asking for the public's help by releasing the ransom notes sent to local media in Tucson, Arizona. ABC's Alex Stone.
The first note saying, "We have your mother, Nancy. She is safe but scared." And it goes on to ask for $4 million in Bitcoin. There was another note that came in on February 6th. A Guthrie family, we did not fully grasp the seriousness of her physical condition. We never intended to harm her. She perished shortly after she was taken. We believe it was heart-related. She is buried in nature now. Nothing you could have done could have changed the outcome. We want your family to know this, and we hope you can all find peace. We are truly sorry.
Causing an international stir, a wave of 60,000 migrants who crossed the border entering a Spanish region from Morocco today. Spain's government and local officials say about 48,000 went back voluntarily. President Trump.
I watched the catastrophe that took place. It looks like an invasion of a country by hundreds of thousands of people. And that same thing's going to happen to us if the Republicans don't get elected, except worse.
Why is this happening now? Well, it could be for a few reasons. Only a few weeks ago, Spain's Supreme Court ruled that those who reach the area by sea cannot be immediately returned without due process. It's unclear if any of these people will be able to claim asylum or reach mainland Europe.
ABC's James Longman. President Trump says he's losing faith in the Iran negotiations. President announcing a deal with Israel and Hamas, but Hamas says it will disarm only if a Palestinian state is created, something Israel rejects. Former Congressman George Santos will pay $35,000 after the federal regulator overseeing prediction markets found that he engaged in what's called manipulative activity over whether he would or would not attend the State of the Union address earlier this year, and will forfeit several $1,000s in alleged winnings. You're listening to ABC News.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis, Wildwood, De Pere, Columbia, and the world. Streaming live at KTRS.com.
Good afternoon. It is 78 degrees at 5:02. I'm David Solomon, and here's what's happening. A police emergency has closed the eastbound lanes of the Jefferson Barracks Bridge. Captain Paul Kopsky will have more details in traffic coming up. Here's what else is happening right now. The city of Florissant and one of its former police officers have agreed to pay more than $4 million to 24 women who accused the officer of searching their phones without permission during traffic stops 2 years ago. Former officer Julian Alcala pled guilty to 20 counts of deprivation of civil rights under color of law earlier this year and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. In 2024, Alcala pulled female drivers over and asked for their unlocked phones to provide insurance and registration verification. Alcala then searched through the driver's phones and took screenshots of any pictures depicting full or partial nudity. The settlement is the maximum amount that can be paid out from the city of Florissant's insurance policy. A former St. Louis television news anchor and reporter has been ruled competent to stand trial for the murder of her mother in Kansas. 48-year-old Angelin Mock is charged with intentional and premeditated first-degree murder in the death of 80-year-old Anita Avers. Prosecutors say Mock stabbed her mother to death at a Wichita home last Halloween. Mock, who previously worked at KTVI from 2011 through 2015, is jailed on $1 million bond. Illinois is launching a new program to help residents who have lost their SNAP benefits. Governor J.B. Pritzker has announced that the individuals will receive a one-time $400 benefit per eligible household member through the new FRESH program. Approximately 100,000 Illinois residents will receive the one-time benefit beginning tomorrow. The Illinois Department of Human Services will provide funding each month to additional individuals who lose coverage until funding is exhausted. An anniversary celebration is planned in Alton for acclaimed jazz musician Miles Davis. KTRS's Vicki Pimentel has the story.
The Alton Amphitheater will commemorate the 100th anniversary of Alton native Miles Davis at the Alton Jazz and Wine Festival next month. The evening will feature jazz music, wine, and food vendors, all celebrating the legacy of one of the world's great music innovators. Davis was born in Alton in 1926 and changed the course of jazz by continually reinventing it. Headlining the festival will be acclaimed Virginia collective Butcher Brown. The festival celebrating Davis is Saturday, August 29th from 6 to 10 p.m. Event information is available on the Alton Amphitheater website and Facebook page. Vicki Pimentel, KTRS News.
This KTRS Business Minute is brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. Unemployment numbers in Missouri continue to fall. KTRS's Jill Enders has more.
The state of Missouri is seeing fewer initial unemployment claims. The Missouri Department of Labor reports there were nearly 2,500 initial claims filed during the week ending on July 25th. That marks a drop of nearly 350 claims from the previous week. This also marks 3 consecutive weeks in a decrease of claims. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
Now let's take a look at the closing markets, brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow rose 276 points to 52,485. The NASDAQ gained 251 points to 25,373. And S&P 500 also up 52 points to 7,489. KTRS News Time is 5:06. The Cardinals are looking to return to the win column tonight. Paul Kopsky has more from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk.
David, on the heels of losing 3 of 4 to the Cubs, the Cardinals are north of the border tonight to open a 3-game series in Toronto. Kyle Leahy gets the start against the Blue Jays, who are 9 games under 500 and in last place in the AL East. And St. Louis City SC is back on the home pitch tomorrow night against Real Salt Lake. As of now, it doesn't appear as if new designated player Carlo Holso will be able to play as he deals with visa issues. I'm Paul Kopsky from the Royal Banks of Missouri Sports Desk, and now on to traffic. As David told you, 270 East is closed between the Jefferson Barracks Bridge and the Missouri-Illinois state line due to a police emergency, with traffic at a virtual standstill back past Telegraph. It looks like traffic is being diverted onto Koch Road. Elsewhere, 64 West is slow from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker, and no delays out in Lake St. Louis. 64 East bogs down from 170 to Big Bend, and 64 East is jammed between Illinois 157 and 159. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
Remains of First Alert weather days. We check out the KTRS First Alert forecast. A tornado watch is in effect until 11 this evening for the western portion of the KTRS listening area, including Franklin, Warren, and Lincoln counties. Tonight, showers will pick back up through the evening hours before tapering off overnight. We might see a thunderstorm or two with some severe potential and a low around 69 with wind gusts up to 22 miles per hour. Tomorrow, we have the chance of a morning shower, then afternoon showers and thunderstorms with highs near 75, wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, evening showers and thunderstorms give way to mostly cloudy skies and a low around 67. And Sunday, partly sunny with a high near 80 and wind gusts up to 23 miles per hour. It's 78 degrees under cloudy skies at the KTRS studios underneath the Gold Tower at Westport Plaza in Maryland Heights at 5:08. I'm David Solomon, KTRS News on the Talk of St. Louis.
And now, KTRS weather.
I'm First Alert 4 Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. We have a First Alert weather day for a threat of severe storms through this evening, through about 11 o'clock tonight. Let's be on guard for tornado risk, severe winds, and a brief flood threat this evening. Now, the severe risk ends overnight, but we still have scattered showers in the forecast, morning to evening on Saturday, kind of on and off, doesn't rain all day, but a 60% chance of some scattered showers Saturday with a low of 69 and a high of 75, about 15 degrees cooler than normal. Then Sunday, a high of 80, a spot shower, but lots of dry time. That's the latest from the First Alert 4 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton for the Big 550 KTRS.
Hi, I'm Mike Robinson with Robank Properties, and I want your fixer-upper home. It's crazy to spend a ton of money fixing it up when I will pay you top dollar right now. I don't even care what condition it's in. Your trash is my treasure. No inspections, no contingencies, just cold, hard cash. Call me, Mike Robinson, at 314-283-0867. That's Mike Robinson, 314-283-0867.
Family legal matter? Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell and Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
The president of FIFA recently pitched a plan to sell stakes in the World Cup to a private equity group, and the UK Prime Minister is now calling for him to resign. Dr. Patrick Rishe, Director of Sports Business Program at WashU, joins us to break it all down. Thanks for making time for us on this Friday.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So is this the first time an idea like this to sell stakes in the World Cup has been floated?
To my knowledge, yeah, this is a really interesting time also for him to come forward with this, maybe not completely incidental, because there has been rumors and discussion of them expanding yet again from 48 to 64 teams. And so this kind of expansion, which would generate more revenue, you would think in hindsight, when this was first floated, the idea of expanding the tournament was floated before the private equity topic became a global issue. And now you see the connection that if there is greater revenue being generated from the World Cup, this could attract private equity interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the backlash has already begun within FIFA, with the senior advisor and former U.S. soccer president resigning in protest. I mean, do you think you'll see more of that?
I don't think that this private equity plan is going to move forward, because I don't think they're going to have the support. I think that this seems to be almost kind of a lone wolf situation where you have to wonder, given the ties that one of the investors of the firm that was rumored to be the primary private equity investor is apparently the brother of the son-in-law of our standing president. And then, of course, the red card incident from the World Cup. One has to wonder what kind of influence our president had on this whole kind of ideation. At least I, skeptically and cynically, I do wonder that.
And Dr. Rishe, can you try to explain this maybe in terms of the NFL or Major League Baseball? Because he's saying with FIFA, they want to sell equity stakes, and UEFA, which is the 55 members in Europe, they're saying it's not his to sell. Is there a way where you could break this down so we could understand it? And, as
Yeah, absolutely. So look, we've seen private equity come into professional sports in the last decade, and I think a lot of this, interestingly enough, arose in the aftermath of the pandemic, where we received a financial shock. Every industry did, and the one industry that used to be recession-proof, the sports industry, well, they weren't recession-proof to the pandemic. So you saw teams first in the NHL, NBA, then baseball, and then most recently football welcome in a minority share of this private equity money. Some leagues like the NFL, it's only a 10% share. Other leagues, I think the maximum is capped at either 25 or 30%. The rationale, broadly speaking, why any entity, whether it's NHL, MLB, or FIFA, would want private equity money is when that money comes in, it gives you access to capital straight away. And that certainly helped some of these professional sports teams stem the tide during the pandemic. It also helps teams from a standpoint of maybe it helps them fund stadiums. Maybe it helps them fund more tech-friendly amenities at your venues that helps you monetize your fan base better. So it makes more sense in the team sports world because the applications are more readily kind of seen and applicable. And we've seen that pro sports teams, their valuations have grown and grown and grown over the years. So you can see why an investor would want to get in. As it relates to the World Cup, I mean, as someone just, you mentioned the quote is, it's not FIFA's to sell. The thinking is likely the same, that a private equity firm comes in, they infuse money straight away, and what does that do? Now there's more capital available to expand tournaments, maybe have additional tournaments in between World Cups. But does FIFA really need that? They just generated $15 billion in this last 4-year cycle, and roughly 12 to 13 million of that came from the 2026 World Cup. So I think you see UEFA, you see CONCACAF, which is the group that the U.S. and Canada and Mexico is part of, all holding a big red card, holding it with their middle finger at Johnny Infantino and saying, look, this isn't happening now.
Well, it's very interesting. And when it comes to Gianni, is he up for reelection? Is this an elected position? Can we see him not be in charge of this in the next couple of months?
Absolutely. I believe that the reelection is in March. And, here's the crazy thing about it. They just put on the best World Cup that's ever been. Maybe I'm being ethnocentric here because it was, on our turf. But Canada, Mexico, United States put on a hell of a show. The concerns about people coming to our country and feeling not welcomed, you didn't hear that except for maybe the Iranian camp. But all these fans from all over the world enjoying the sport, enjoying our cities, the Scottish fans, of course, enjoying our bars in Boston, apparently. And we put on an amazing event. It generated the most revenue of any World Cup ever. It generated the greatest ratings of any World Cup ever. You got to ride that momentum. And instead, he's going to ride it into his own grave as it relates to him keeping his role as FIFA's president, because I could see there being tremendous support getting rid of him for those elections in March, and maybe even sooner if that's even something that is accessible. And FIFA has a history under the Blatter years. Sepp Blatter, the previous president of FIFA. FIFA, by the way, is not the only organization. The IOC, some of these international sport organizations, there are histories of being ripe with scandal. But I think he's a lone wolf on this one, and he's not getting support internally. Didn't discuss it with other members. Clearly, UEFA, CONCACAF, the Asian Football Federation, forget their acronym, they also have voted in opposition of this. So it just seemed like a real misstep from somebody that prior to this tournament had a very good reputation.
Yeah, Patrick, I was wondering with Infantino I wonder if he feels like we absolutely peaked with this one in the U.S. And you talked about momentum. Maybe he's thinking the next time around, it's not possible to be as good. Let me see if I can get the cash while we're hot. I don't think that's a good enough motive, but I wonder if that's where his head was.
Bob, I think that's a really good point because, again, and hopefully we're not being ethnocentric, but yeah. I do think it's going to be difficult for other host cities. I think it's next in Spain, Portugal, Morocco, with even a couple matches in Uruguay in celebration of their 100-year anniversary of the first World Cup in 1930. And I don't see a way that that's going to be as commercially successful as what just happened. So perhaps that's part of the motivation. But I keep going back to when you see that the lead investor from the firm that was being discussed as being the private equity firm to step up, having ties to our president. And then, of course, what happened during the World Cup with our striker, who was basically given a second chance, perhaps at our peril. Boy, oh boy, it really feels like there's a political link to this that just doesn't smell right. And I think clearly they may not be saying it publicly, but UEFA, CONCACAF, the others, they sense the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, well, it is interesting. Dr. Patrick Rishe, we appreciate your time this afternoon. Have a great weekend.
Thanks so much. You all as well.
Yeah. Yesterday, Warren Patton came in from Byerly RV, and it always gets me just so excited because he's talking about all these new things and talking about how easy it is for somebody to get into an RV these days because they have smaller trailers for like $125, $150. You are taking your family on vacation to different places every other weekend if you want. I mean, there are all kinds of cool travel vans where the roof will open up and make it a little bit higher and almost seems like a tent up at the top, but you've got travel trailers and fifth wheels and Class C's and A's and B's, anything that you can imagine just to get you out on the road and to get you into the RV lifestyle, which for me is just peaceful and relaxing and seeing different places anytime we want to. Byerly RV has some great deals right now on the bunkhouses. If you're looking to have a bunkhouse, every single bunkhouse is up for a great deal. But then they also have a fantastic service department. The storage facility is absolutely unlike anything I've ever seen before. They've got a store where you can buy all kinds of things from hitches to even a little thing that will hold your paper plates. You name it, you'll find it. It's one of the largest gadget stores for RVs in the Midwest. So whatever it is you're looking for, whether it is just to get started with an RV, if it's to upgrade, if it's to get service, or you're looking for a couple of extra gadgets.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties, including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
With summer already upon us, it's time to think about heat and cooling. If you haven't already, take a look at Indoor Comfort Team Heating and Air Conditioning. Not only are they a local St. Louis company, owned and operated by our neighbors, but they're offering some fantastic promotions right now. The first, get a free second opinion from Indoor Comfort Team. If you're not sure about what another HVAC company has told you, that's all right. Reach out to Indoor Comfort Team, and they'll come out to give a second opinion and some peace of mind. If it turns out you need a new system, they can help with that too. Get $2,000 off a new Train system with no interest financing. You can even get a discount on their VIP maintenance membership program at only $19.99 a month right now. That's 24/7 priority service and support, permanent discounts, tune-ups, and more. Check them out and see why St. Louis has trusted them since 1979. That's indoorcomfortteam.com
or call 314-894-8200.
You know that honey-do list isn't getting any shorter, and you got to make a dent into it. Can I recommend going somewhere to helping you out? Schnarr's Hardware. Schnarr's Hardware has 2 locations, one in Webster and one in Ladue. One great family, 2 great hardware stores. Schnarr's Hardware. When you walk in with that list, you say, okay, I think I know how to do this one, but these 3 I need help on. And you know what? The people behind the counter at Schnarr's Hardware, that's what they do best. They have the expertise, so they can help you with electrical, help you with plumbing, painting, really anything at Schnarr's Hardware. They're small, they're compact, but it's that friendly neighborhood hardware store that has been the way it's been here in America for years, right? You remember when your grandfather took you to the hardware store. That's Schnarr's Hardware. The popcorn and the advice are free. So when you go to Schnarr's Hardware, 2 locations in Webster and in Ladue. Don't forget about the website, schnarrshardware.com. So for all of your hardware needs and that honey-do list, Schnarr's Hardware or schnarrshardware.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
That's Shakira, and apparently people here in the United States, we're used to halftime shows with the Super Bowl. Apparently worldwide, people didn't like the halftime show.
Well, I think
during
it
the
just
FIFA thing.
wasn't
They weren't used
pure.
to it.
It wasn't pure soccer. It wasn't the way that we've done things before. I thought it was one of the better halftimes that I've seen.
Were the complaints about because it was entertainment and you didn't have talking heads breaking down plays?
I think it was some of that.
And I think it made, like every Super Bowl halftime show, rather than 20 minutes, it's always about 25 or 30. They make them a little longer.
Yeah.
I think everybody was like, where's the football? Or in this country, where's the soccer? Now, I've got a list of 15 things everyone should know how to fix. And I want to run this past you
We'll
guys.
see how many we got.
I want to run
Keep
it
a
past
score.
the texters,
Yeah.
84126. Am I missing anything on this list? Does anything need to be added? Number 1, a running toilet. I currently have one in my upstairs bathroom.
I'm not a plumber, but I fixed them.
I don't know what to do.
a lot of times
the
it's
rubber
the flap.
and the rubber flap.
But not all toilets look like that anymore.
And then here's the thing, though, the salient point.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what yours looks like.
Yeah, well,
now you're right. Some are different, but I bet you got a flap.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a picture when I get home.
And I bet that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Is you should be able to fix that chain, either lengthen that chain or
That's right.
shorten the chain to make sure that the flap comes up and down when it's supposed to, and the water fills when it's supposed to.
And sometimes the flap is old and gets leaks around the edges.
That's right.
And you
It
gotta
has to be replaced.
Yep.
It says 9 times out of 10, it's the flapper, the rubber piece at the bottom of the tank that seals the water.
Okay, Bob and I each got that. We got that
Why don't you
one.
have Heidi and I just come over and fix up
Now,
your
I don't
house?
like it, but that one we can
Please.
do.
Well, the water in the tank's clean, right? That's the clean water.
Let us know.
Yeah.
They say it's a $10 fix. Plumbers will charge $150 for it. A flat bike tire. They say your kid's bike will get a flat probably on a Saturday right when you are about to head out. Do you know how to change
To replace the tube?
the tubes?
Yes.
I know how, but I don't want to
I don't either.
That's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. I bought a bike from Big Shark, and they'll replace anything once a year.
Yeah, they're great.
You can go in
and I've got a bike shop in Fenton they're great too. They'll take care of it.
they'll give you a tune-up once a year, and you know
exactly.
all they'll charge you for is the tubes out of the
So,
box.
Yeah, it's
I
really
know
nice.
how to do it, but I don't want to.
I do not know how to do it. And then here, since we're talking about bikes, I'll jump ahead. A bike chain.
Ugh.
Do you know how to fix a bike chain?
I hate
If
it.
it's actually broken or if it just comes off.
If
the
it falls
sprocket.
off.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Your hands are going to get greasy, but you can do it.
So
I will
we
say
used- yeah.
it depends on the speeds of the bike because I never knew which, like if it was just the chain and you got one speed, great, you put it back on.
Our BMX bikes growing up, it was one sprock,
Yeah.
one chain. But with the 10 speeds
Or
and
the
12
7 speeds, how do you know which like rung it goes on so that when you're clicking it, you're right
Where it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And then you get on it and you're riding and you're and then it cha-chung.
It'll fix itself.
All
It
right.
will kind of check itself out.
Yeah.
Clogged drain. Now I can do this.
Do we have any Drano? Or you
my
need to take it apart?
My Drano came with a home snake.
Well, a lot of plumbers say you shouldn't use Drano.
I know.
Because it actually eats away at the
pipelining and all
I know
that
how
stuff.
to do it, but Jen does it. Takes the S thing off and cleans it all out, and she knows.
Oh, she takes takes
it apart.
The P trap and all that stuff.
Yeah, she's good.
Wow,
I'm taking credit though.
All I do is put that snake in there and then,
grab it,
and then pull all the gross stuff out.
It is pretty nasty.
But you know what? It's easier because it's my hair. It's my wife's hair. We had a rental property. Very hairy couple.
Yeah.
And I'm pulling this stuff out. A wobbly chair or table. I mean, aside from a coaster.
I mean, I've turned our bar stools over or chairs, and it's usually a screw in the bottom.
Screw in the bottom.
Usually, yeah.
A door that won't stop squeaking.
It's called WD-40.
That's what exactly it's called.
On the hinges. A punctured pool float or inflatable. A patch kit costs about $5. It works on just about everything.
Yeah.
A loose doorknob or handle. I mean, I feel like you can kind
take
of
them
figure
apart
that
and
out.
screw them back in and tighten it up. That's easy.
The inside of a doorknob, though.
It's
whoa.
There's a lot of parts.
Who knew? Who knew that was all in there?
Yeah.
A computer, a phone that's running slow. The only thing I know how to do is turn
Close
it off.
the apps.
Yeah, turn it off, turn it back on. That's normally what I do. A hole in drywall. You guys know how to do that?
To patch it.
Yeah.
I can't do a big one.
Yeah.
But a little one I can.
Small enough.
I've
mud.
had an elbow in and a hip / butt.
Elbow size I can
Pop
do.
in.
And this is not a shot at your hips.
Yeah.
But then again, that would be too big. I don't think I'd be comfortable
you'd
repairing
see
that. Yeah.
Too much of it.
Total cost $10. Total time 20 minutes plus drying
Well,
to fix a hole.
I want to see it sanded down real nice.
There's going to be, then you got to repaint it. I don't think 20 minutes is it.
Somebody on the text line had mentioned this earlier. Putting the string back into a pair of pants or a hood.
Yeah.
That might be my hidden talent. I forgot I can do that. I've done
You
it.
use a big
pin?
pin and walk it through.
And sometimes if you can actually move it without the pin. I always wonder if I'm taking a survey, your hidden talent. I don't have one. That's what I have. I can fix a hoodie. The hoodie string.
The string.
That's my hidden deal.
I had a pair of pants. Darren bought me a nice pair of sweatpants, and I had to tie
That
knots.
seems like an odd thing.
I know. Well, I commented on his, and so he came in.
Oh,
so giving.
I had to tie knots on the end of it because every time I put it in the wash, the string would come out. And then finally, a sticky zipper. I think added to this list should be sewing a button back on.
I can't do that.
I've done it, but I can't.
yeah.
I gotta say I can't. That would be my one. The sticky zipper. What's the solution?
Butter.
Butter. But then the dogs are chasing you around.
It says WD-40 or a graphite pencil rubbed along the zipper teeth, then work it back and forth a few times.
I'm telling you, butter does the same thing.
I guess it slips right through. So you knew this.
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke.
No.
Okay.
I didn't know that either. So I was -2.
Keep my mom on speed dial for doing all of my buttons or hemming in pants. We're going to go to traffic, but when we come back, I want to talk about, since Bob just mentioned it, something you're really good at, but you don't talk about because people might think it's weird. 532, Captain Paul, how's traffic?
Heidi, a huge problem in South County. A police emergency has closed the eastbound lanes of the Jefferson Barracks Bridge with traffic at a virtual standstill on 255 back past Lindbergh. It looks like traffic is being diverted onto Koch Road. Elsewhere, there's a crash on 70 west of Route K with stop-and-go traffic back to TR Hughes. Estimated clearance time 5:55. 64 west is slow from Kings Highway to Clayton Skinker. No delays in Lake St. Louis. 55 north, stop and go from Gravois to Park. 64 east bogs down from 170 to Big Bend. And 64 east is also jammed between Illinois 157 and 159. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
So we just found out that Bob has a bit of a hidden talent. He can do the hoodie string or the sweatpant or short
waistband
string.
Yeah.
What is something that you can do? Like, I saw this list and I always wished I was really good at Guitar Hero when people would play that game.
That's a pretty cool game.
Yeah, if you were really good.
Now I gotta
wish I could play
ask.
real guitar, but
Yeah, I gotta ask because the Guitar Hero doesn't help you play guitar at all.
No.
But does the drums help you play drums?
I think it does.
Guitar Hero, you
Yeah.
can play but once you get the mechanics down, I think the hardest part is working your foot and your hands, doing different things at the same time. But I would imagine that game would help you with that, at least as a beginner. But no, I don't think it could help you play a real guitar.
Somebody said I called that my superpower. Getting the string out.
Getting the string through?
Would be like
Somebody else on the text line said a bar of soap on a zipper, rub it on the teeth.
Same idea.
Same idea.
Same
Yeah.
idea.
So
I've never thought to grease it.
No.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I wish I could sew. That was another one. I don't know that I have a true hidden talent. Now I will say if sometimes Marsha has a string that's in a knot, I can kind of get a knot out, but I'll tell you what I'm awful at when jewelry kinks up and you've got that. Trying to get that out.
Those
There's
little tiny thin chains.
yeah.
If they get a knot. Jen's got one now that's driving her crazy. She can't get it.
Yeah, but maybe you could use a little soap like the zipper.
Oh, I'm going to try that when I go home.
You need to get like a pin, like a real thin needle to kind of try to get in there.
Well, you can try both and see who wins.
We'll see what happens.
My wife has a nice necklace from Tiffany. It was only $110. So don't think that I shop there. But I just bring it to them and let them do it because they're
Go to the jeweler.
obviously the professionals.
Take it to the jeweler.
Yeah.
Do you have other secret talents?
I do because I saw this list as well.
Yeah,
and I was racking my brain, and this is secret talents that you don't tell anybody about because you're afraid that they're going to say that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Is it going to be your impression?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. My Muppet
Heidi,
impressions.
Oh, here we go.
I could be in a crowded store or bar or restaurant, and I can pick out the songs that's playing. I was little Neil Young, and people would say I didn't even know a song was playing. Yeah,
that's my response to you would be what?
Yeah,
It's elevator music, and you can pick it out that way, or it's
just
still
it's a
the
loud bar, whatever. And
your ears filter it out.
I was walking through Nordstrom one time, and it was really busy, and I heard a song, and I love this song, and the person I was with said I didn't even know a song was playing. So that's
a pretty good one.
That's my superpower.
I like that.
Okay.
Anybody else on the text line 84126? Do you have a superpower?
Well, I think it's a hidden talent, not a superpower.
Well, the texter calls it their superpower.
Well, okay.
Let me ask you this while we wait for the text to roll in. Caltrans, which is California Department of Transportation, they are working on high-speed rail, Bob, and we've talked about
the last
this.
15 years and billions later.
And we have no idea if we're ever going to have anything to show for it, but now they have suggested instead of high-speed rail, high-speed buses. They say that they could engineer regular buses to operate at speeds between 80 and 140 miles per hour.
Aren't we doing something like this instead of
Well, instead of Metrolink, we're doing dedicated bus lanes,
but they're not
north to
super
south, but they're not going to go
fast.
140 miles an hour.
Somebody call Keanu Reeves.
The new bus rapid transit. This article does talk about Speed, the movie.
How many more billions is that going to be now?
I think it would be much cheaper. They say Interstate 80 and 5, in addition to route. You take the 80 to the 5 to the 101.
What are you doing here?
They could create high-speed connections between cities like San Diego, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. At 100 miles per hour, you can get from LA to San Francisco in under 4 hours.
But what road are they going to use?
They'd have to build dedicated,
Exactly.
dedicated bus lanes, and you'd have to kind of put the barriers on both sides so people can't just
jump in,
right?
Cut off the bus. But if a bus is going 140 miles an hour, vroom, that whole lane of traffic might be useless
Well, it's
until the
kind of
next
like
bus
our
comes.
inner lane on 70.
Yeah, maybe they built something like that.
But then you would think it would only be the buses.
Only the high-speed buses.
Because you can't have other cars in there.
And I think they should. I don't know if LA has this. Next time Alex comes on, Alex Stone, ABC News, we'll ask him about the day that Mickey Mouse bought ABC. But we'll also ask him, do they have dedicated bus lanes just to get from, downtown out to the valley? Because they say people who live in West Hollywood never go to the beach because it takes 50 minutes.
I don't think
just
they
to
have
get there.
dedicated lanes in my time, at least on the
I can't
the
recall any
interstates.
either.
Yeah, I mean they have the commuter lanes, but they don't have a
diamond lanes.
Yeah,
and that's why am I blanking on the commuter lanes, the carpool.
Yeah,
they have carpool lanes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have all that, but they should have dedicated bus lanes just in that city to get you to and fro. But what would a 140 mile per hour bus feel like on the inside?
I'm gonna say scary.
Would that even be comfortable?
I have
for
a feeling
people?
this is not going to happen, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay. 140 miles per hour. What's the fastest you ever gone in a car?
Well, I did the
you did
driving experience over at Gateway.
How fast did you go?
I went 147.
Oh my!
And you were driving.
And I was driving.
Oh my gosh!
It was fantastic.
You're my hero.
It was the Richard
shaking?
Petty driving experience. Oh yeah, it shakes. I mean, any kind of NASCAR, it's shaking the whole time. When people say that those guys aren't athletes, they don't know what they're talking about.
That's exactly right.
Because the whole car is shaking.
I was at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but I was riding along, not driving. And it went like 110, 115. And he's like literally an inch from the wall. So I tip my cap to you, Heidi.
It was fun.
And on a boat, I've been 105 with Bill Siebold.
Which is a whole different.
Oh my goodness!
That's frightening.
Yeah, it is frightening. And you're open. You can.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The guy in the neighborhood had he worked on exotic cars, and he had a Ferrari or a Lamborghini. I don't know.
I saw an Aston Martin on my way in today. It was gorgeous.
Was it? What color was it?
It was white, and it was a SUV. Like a little one. It was very cool.
Did it look like it had a thing for the machine guns to come out
Little
the front?
bit,
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe. Okay.
There's a law firm over by Schnars and Webster, and they had one of the Lamborghini SUVs parked back there. I'm sure I know whose that was. But he took us out on the open roads and got up to 120.
Ooh.
And I'm not interested.
No.
I am.
Take me home.
I like it. Let's do some entertainment news. So Spider-Man Brand New Day made $72 million in previews, and it set a new all-time record at the box office. It knocked Avengers Endgame out of the top slot. I haven't heard much about this Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's new.
Well, obviously.
I've seen the pictures of them filming it and everything.
Yeah.
But I think you're kind of right. It did kind of sneak up on us, and it's kind of late in the summer for a Marvel movie, right?
I don't know. Are there rules to any of this anymore? You just, now that all the streaming services also do movies, are there seasons?
And my wife, it felt like just yesterday, my wife went to go see Devil Wears Prada in the movie theater. And
streaming now, right?
Yeah, on Disney Plus.
Just started streaming just a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go see. I think Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And I heard Max and Carl and Lynn and everybody talking about it today. I like him.
Okay. Tony Romo is on leave from his role at CBS Sports until further notice. This comes after his OWI arrest last week in Milwaukee. He has yet to address the matter publicly.
Have you seen some of the videos?
I have.
I mean, he spent the day at the golf course. Obviously shouldn't have been driving. Do you guys think he should be fired? They say J.J. Watt's going to take his place until he's back.
Yeah.
Which J.J. Watt's great.
I think you got to be very careful in all of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got a lot of kids, teenagers that are watching Tony Romo, and if nothing happens to him, then it sends a message.
Yes, but are we saying anyone who gets a DUI has to be fired at every job?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why not? Why just the celebrities?
No, I think because they're in the know, because they are front and center, and whether they like it or not, are kind of role models for certain people. I mean, I don't think he should be. Yeah, different rules apply. I do not think he should be fired, but I do think what they're doing right now, he'll be back for the NFL.
He's got a huge salary.
He does a great job. I think he's a better broadcaster than he was a quarterback.
Probably so.
But John Legend will play Harry Belafonte in The Road Home, which is now filming in South Africa. John Legend knew the great Belafonte and called him a friend, mentor, and collaborator in the struggle for justice. The Road Home is about the creation of Paul Simon's Graceland.
That could be really interesting.
Does it say who's playing Paul Simon?
It does, and I didn't know the name.
Huh.
Dermot Mulroney is leaving Chicago Fire in the upcoming season. He joined the show only about 2 years ago as Chief Dom Pascal. The show returns October 7th on NBC. Alicia Silverstone will return as Cher for a Clueless sequel series on Paramount Plus. It doesn't have a title or a release date.
That'll be a tough job capturing the essence of the movie. But if they even come close, it could be really fun.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
It is. Donna Mills, who I have loved for years, was, of course, a sex symbol in the 80s. Now she is in her 80s, 85, by the way, and just joined OnlyFans. Now, it's not racy. She says her fans will get to see, quote, the real me, the good hair days, the bad hair days, and everything in between. She also said social media has been a wonderful way to stay connected, but I'm excited to join OnlyFans because it offers the opportunity for more personal, direct connection.
This isn't social media.
This is getting a little money from talking to your fans. She's most famous, of course, for playing Abby Cunningham on the primetime soap Knots Landing from 80 to 89, and she was fierce.
I think her first film was Clint Eastwood's love interest in Play Misty for Me.
It was, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But she wasn't the...
No, Jessica Walter was the crazy
the
girl
crazy one
that we've all dated.
Bunny XO is said to be considering a potential reality show following her widely publicized divorce from Jelly Roll. She apparently is in L.A. meeting with producers. You know that will be a thing.
I just looked up. Johnny Flynn is playing Paul Simon in this new Graceland
Johnny
movie.
Flynn.
What's he been in?
I don't know. He's
Yeah,
playing Lucius Malfoy in the new Harry Potter TV show. That's the Malfoy's dad. I don't know. Yeah, I don't see
We'll check it. I think the movie will be interesting to
I
watch.
do too. Chiefs head coach Andy Reid joked that Travis Kelce stayed in shape for the team by doing a lot of dancing at his wedding.
Yeah. You see the picture from camp? I think there was a lot of wedding cake.
Yeah, I think so
He's
too.
got some work to do.
No, he's married now.
He's got some work to
Yeah.
do.
It's called happy weight.
Not if you're running 100
I
yards.
put on 50 pounds of it.
Again, you're not running 100 yards trying to catch a pass and outrun some people.
Have we gotten any pictures or any stories?
No.
Joe Buck said something. Andy Reid
On the
is
wedding?
saying something.
I mean, Jason Kelce has said a few things about how great it was, but no, nothing. There's a Morgan Wallen themed Airbnb in Nashville that has rooms inspired by his songs. There's also a chair on the balcony
I was going to say.
with a
That's
sign
good. I
that
was
gonna
says,
say,
quote, you are not Morgan Wallen. You won't get away
Do
with
not
it.
throw
Don't
this."
throw the chair, which I think is hilarious. The drama is now streaming on HBO Max. It stars Zendaya and Robert Pattinson as a couple whose engagement is jeopardized after they each reveal the worst thing they've ever done.
Yeah.
When did that come out?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then
I thought that looked good.
Sunday on Paramount Plus, I know Bob Ramsey is a big fan. The third season premiere of Lioness, which I've got to get on board.
You can catch up in a weekend.
Okay.
I
It's
think.
that good.
It's so good.
Yeah. Let's do a couple birthdays.
All right. I'm going to go tough again today, I
All
think.
right.
All right. He was magnificent in Aliens, in The Terminator, and in Tombstone, Michael Biehn.
Oh, Michael Biehn.
Biehn. Biehn.
Johnny Ringo.
Johnny Ringo, I'm your Huckleberry. He told him.
And then he played Kyle in Terminator.
I have no idea who this is.
Oh, you don't?
Oh, is he the weird looking one?
No, he's a good looking guy.
Good looking guy. In Aliens with Sigourney Weaver.
Okay.
He was Corporal Hicks.
Second
The
one.
guy that kind of liked her.
So he was a big 80s guy. He was in Tombstone. I'm going to say he's 66.
I was going to say 64. Oh,
I was
dang
cheating.
it.
I was going to cheat
Yeah,
this time.
you should have. I didn't know.
He was 70. He
Okay.
is 70. I'm going to go. I flipped back over.
Okay.
So maybe not as old.
Okay,
Maybe.
okay.
Ryan in the Office, terrific writer.
Oh, BJ Novak.
BJ Novak. He is a terrific writer.
He really is.
How old is he?
I love to think that he created the worst character for himself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
He
yeah.
wrote himself to be such a
jerk.
jerk.
Which was funny in its own
Yeah.
right.
48.
46.
47.
Oh, right between.
Do I get it?
I said
You like that?
46.
Wait a minute.
I get it.
Did you say 48?
Uh-huh.
No, it's a tie. And then finally, this is for our listeners of a certain age.
Okay.
You two are on your own. Somebody gets it real quick. 84126. Son of Jerry Lewis and leader of Gary Lewis and the Playboys.
I forgot
This
about
diamond
that.
ring
Doesn't shine for
like
me
it
anymore.
How old is Gary Lewis?
79.
No.
No.
No. Oh, that was
79
that
is
was
what I
very
said.
dismissive.
Sure was.
84.
No,
No.
81.
Oh, I think I was closer.
I think you were closer.
Yeah, that is your
By
evening
one.
entertainment report here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Are you looking for a deck? I am. And you know who I turn to? Outdoor Living and Pat Leahy. They've been a sponsor for a long time, and they've done some other projects for me, but this one's the big one. It's going to have metal framing, composite decking, and when it's all said and done, he's going to put a 50-year warranty on it. Not because I'm his spokesperson for all these years, but because I am a customer. Outdoor Living takes care of St. Louis. So if you're looking for a deck that will survive the heat and the winter and the sun and everything else, Outdoor Living, Big Bend and I-44 in Kirkwood. Outdoor Living or OutdoorLivingInc.com.
This July, we celebrate our nation's 250 years of independence and the anniversary of the One Big Beautiful Bill. As a small business owner, you understand the freedom and independence that comes from owning your own business. Hi, I'm Jeff Zufall, Senior Tax Strategist and Wealth Advisor at Capital Advisor Group and the author of the 2 #1 best-selling books on taxes, Keep What's Yours and Keeping What's Yours. We're celebrating 50 years helping small businesses maintain their independence by minimizing their financial risk to their business, reducing their tax liability, and growing their wealth with strategic tax planning. If you're relying on investment advice from someone who isn't familiar with strategic tax planning and you feel like you might be paying more than your fair share in taxes, give us a call. 636-394-5524. That's 636-394-5524 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
You're listening to the Heidi Glaus Show with Josh Gilbert and Bob Ramsey on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, it's 9 minutes before 6. Let's get one final check of traffic. Has that cleared up in South County?
No, Heidi, the big issue down in South County continues. A police emergency has closed the eastbound lanes of the Jefferson Barracks Bridge with traffic at a virtual standstill on 255 back past Lindbergh. Traffic is being diverted onto Coke Road. Elsewhere, a crash on 70 West at Route K has been cleared. 64 West is slow from Hampton to McCausland. No delays in Lake St. Louis. 44 East is jammed between Jefferson and 55. 55 North is stop and go from Gravois to Park. 64 East bogs down around 170, and 64 East is also slow between Illinois 157 and 159. From the KTRS Traffic Center, I'm Captain Paul Kopsky on the Big 550 KTRS.
All right, let's wrap this Friday up, this July up with some randoms.
Yeah, tomorrow is August, everybody. Tiny flies pollinate cocoa trees. So without flies, there wouldn't be chocolate.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everything has a job.
Think of the pollinators, people. Back in 1994, Taco Bell released an album. It was a compilation of alternative music called Do Something, and it featured artists like the Spin Doctors, Cracker.
I remember this.
Do you?
Uh-huh.
I was going to say, I kind of remember this. Sarah McLachlan, the Smithereens. You could buy it at Taco Bell for $4.99 on CD, $3.99 on cassette, and a portion of the proceeds went to helping young people improve their communities.
Wonder how many they sold.
You can buy some on eBay, and they start at $5.
Okay.
So if you want to relive, or you could look up the track listing and just put that on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Every arm on an octopus has its own brain.
What?
Ooh. I'm telling you, that octopus
Did you watch
documentary,
it?
I did. It was fascinating.
What was it called? The octopus teacher or something?
The thing that freaks me out about him is their beak thing.
All of it. The way
it's like
they move.
up in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. What was the name of that? I'll look it up.
I think it was the octopus's daughter.
No.
The guy.
Octopus's Garden?
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry.
that was it. I think
My Octopus Teacher.
My Octopus Teacher. And the guy had a weird relationship with
Yes,
the octopus.
very. Very.
Like, Heidi, would you say it went beyond?
You had to think about it because it was like a friendship that was very, like in the very first where he would do these crazy dives where, what's it called when you don't even wear the oxygen? Free dive.
Is it
And
free diving?
he was underneath there for so long and the octopus would hide from him. And then finally on like, I don't know which trip down, all of a sudden one of the tentacles came out of the cave and like reached for his hand. It is so good and weird. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
Like, did they have something more?
No, Josh.
Okay.
It's an octopus.
People have only been using the word wasted to describe someone who's drunk since the late 1960s. Oh, man, I'm so wasted.
Dude.
But they've been using the word high since 1627. Like
No
Shakespeare time. And it's possible that Beethoven had an irregular heartbeat, which influenced the innovative and unique rhythms in his compositions.
That makes sense, actually.
Isn't that interesting?
Very. All right, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us all week. It has been a lot of fun. I actually have a 3-day weekend. I'll be off Monday, but you're in good hands here with these gentlemen. Have a great weekend. Be good at it. And I'll see you back here on Tuesday. Until then, see if you can put a smile on somebody's face.
John Beal Roofing has been proudly serving homeowners and businesses in the St. Louis metro area on both sides of the river in Missouri and Illinois for over 3 generations. A dependable roof begins with a team you can count on, and that's exactly what you get with John Beal Roofing. Recognized as one of Roofing Contractor Magazine's top 100 roofing companies, John Beal Roofing offers 24/7 emergency service and industry-leading warranties including a lifetime workmanship warranty for total peace of mind. From upgrading an aging roof or completing a full replacement, the team at John Beal Roofing delivers solutions that are built to code, built to last, and handled with expert care. John Beal also responds quickly with reliable storm damage services backed by decades of experience and 24/7 emergency support. Get started today for expert service and a free, no obligation estimate by calling 1-800-NEW-ROOF. That's 1-800-NEW-ROOF.
As we enter into the summer months, you might be thinking windows and doors. Yeah, and where are you going to go? You have lots of options when it comes to windows and doors. Let me tell you about a St. Louis company that everybody should know about. It's called WSWindow.net. It's run by Larry Thornton and his son, Joe. And they've been selling windows and doors in St. Louis for 38 years. They do most of their work with a handshake and a smile. There is no high-pressure sales. There is no jacking up the prices and then try and bring you down as they demand some type of signature on the dotted line. They'll shake your hand and say, we hope to hear from you. And they have been successful. They beat the big boys at their games for all these many years because they do it right. They have long-time installers, long-time employees. The Window Store. If you need windows, if you need doors, you want a great price, and you want to keep it in the St. Louis family. That's Larry and Joe Thornton. The Window Store. WSWindow.net. WSWindow.net.
It's hot out. But nothing can be hotter this summer than a Dogtown pizza. Hey, Josh here, and we're talking 425 degrees hot. 12 different varieties, and a whole bunch of fresh toppings. Try the bacon, the 4-meat, or head to the garden for a veggie or tomato basil garlic.
Oh, you want to get hot?
Try the hot chicken pizza on for size. Sizzling. This summer's already hot, but make it even hotter with some Dogtown Pizza. Every local grocery store in town and at dogtownpizza.com.
The heat of summer has arrived with humidity, dew points, and constant hydration. But it's always cool and comfortable at Gingham's Homestyle Restaurant. Whether it's summer camp, cooling off at the pool, or just relaxing in the shade, Gingham's is a great way to start or finish any day. Just add us to your to-do list. The management and staff at Gingham's would like to wish our customers and friends a safe and enjoyable summer. And to the United States of America, a very happy 250th birthday. Gingham's Restaurant St. Charles or ginghamsrestaurant.com.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packard. The Justice Department has moved to dismiss a criminal case against the ex-Olympian charged with damaging the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. It was earlier this month that U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro insisted that Davy Hearn had ripped the blue liner from the newly renovated pool.
Oh, he damaged it.
Further, but do you believe there had already been damage before?
He damaged the pool.
Now Pirro saying that additional documents provided indicate that the peeling liner was a result of flawed installation by the contractor and the rush to get the job done before Independence Day activities. Todd Blanche is facing an uncertain path to confirmation as Attorney General after Donald Trump doubled down on his desire to compensate victims of alleged government weaponization. ABC's Peter Haralambos.
2 Republican senators are refusing to move forward with Blanche's nomination unless he puts into writing that the Department of Justice's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund is dead. Trump's statements during a cabinet meeting Friday may complicate Blanche's already uncertain path to confirmation.
Well, it is dead, but, I wish it weren't, to be honest.
An unprecedented border crisis has erupted in the Spanish territory. Up to 60,000 migrants entered the area from Morocco, with at least 57 of them dying during their attempts to cross. Tens of thousands have reportedly already returned. ABC News foreign correspondent Brie Clennon.
On the ground, officials are describing it as absolute chaos, with the head of the local security force describing it as a border collapse. They've sent in 3 military platoons, a diving unit, a Navy vessel to help restore order. And we understand, too, that the Prime Minister is also scheduled to visit.
And a possible major development in the Middle East. President Trump says Hamas has agreed to completely disarm in Gaza. He also says Hamas will give up its weapons and transfer control of the territory to a new Palestinian government. Hamas says it will only do that if Israel completely withdraws from Gaza. You're listening to ABC News.
St. Louis Soccer Weekly on the Big 550 KTRS. Your home for St. Louis Soccer. With hosts Mark Moser and Brendan Weesey. Presented by Royal Banks of Missouri, Car Shield, and the Car Shield Football Club.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome in. St. Louis Soccer Weekly is on the Big 550 KTRS. Brendan Weesey with St. Louis Soccer Hall of Famer Mark Moser, and the eve of another big one for City SC as they'll take on Real Salt Lake tomorrow, and we've got you covered for the match. Jalil Anibaba is going to be on the call for Apple TV. He's going to join us on the show. Of course, Tom Timmerman with great insight on some of the new players that have come on to City. And plus, I think this is probably the first of many as we're going to walk you through some of the big college programs over the next several weeks with the start of the collegiate season right around the corner. And our first stop